Hello, everybody, and welcome to the afternoon tune. I am your host, Josh, and today I got Sage from Rated M for Immaturity there. How's it going there, Sage?
I'm doing pretty fantastic, man. How about yourself?
Pretty good there. Got a good show for you people today there. A lot of big stuff out there. Some good reviews there. And do some news here. Some stuff broke over this past week there. The Steam machine there, and just today the Game Awards announcements there. So we were going to do that anyway. We're going to do our guesses for what it was going to be. So they beat us to the punch there.
We've got a new record for most nominations for a game ever.
Yeah. So Claire Obscure Expedition 33. So congrats to that team there. But yeah, discuss that. The Steam machine, then review wise, do these reviews for Running Man 1987 there. Since the new Running Man is out right now with directed by Edgar Wright, starring Glenn Powell.
And Pennywise is not in it.
Pennywise is not in it there. Even though it does take place, there's a sequence in Derry, Maine. And so that does make an appearance in the movie there. I don't know if that was also in the book, but maybe.
Interesting. Okay.
So you got that in there. And then also there's this Vince Gilligan TV show on Apple TV there. Pluribus out right now. So I saw the first 2 episodes. You saw the first 3.
Yeah, I managed to watch 3.
You did. I have not seen the 3rd episode yet. But dig into that. That's the big new show everybody's talking about right now. Vince Gilligan. People know him for such things as Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul. People say it's the 2 of the greatest shows of the 21st century. Those 2 shows there. Then also the Chainsaw Man creator there has a anthology anime series on Amazon Prime called 1726 there. Pretty bad marketing there, just call it 1726 there. But
yeah, I don't honestly know exactly what that title is even supposed to mean. I mean, it's like a collection of short stories from like early in his career. I honestly have no idea what the title is supposed to be in reference to.
Yeah, so we'll dig into that there. But yeah, that's what we kind of got on the docket for today, review wise. Afterwards, I'll go ahead and, of course, as always, raid somebody. If you had somebody on, let me know. Dante's on. He's playing that Marvel Rivals there. You've played Marvel Rivals.
Just the once. Well, only the one time with you. That's my entire exposure to the game, really.
Yeah, just the once. Yeah. So Dante loves playing that Marvel Rivals there. Seems like it's kind of leveled off. There was like that big hype at first, and then it's kind of, I think, leveled off now.
Yeah, there's the people that jump from one game to the next as the big hyped things come out. But I think that there's a hardcore fan base that's gonna kind of stick to it, that was playing Overwatch for like a full decade before this game came out. But I think those people are probably still sticking to it.
Yeah, I don't know how it's competing with things like Overwatch or things like Fortnite. It's probably not even coming close to Fortnite. But
Fortnite's kind of the king of the whole thing. I mean, that is basically what came out and knocked Call of Duty off the top of the pile.
Yeah. So Fortnite is huge and it's free. I mean, people love free, so can't really beat that with it. So you
want to spend $80 on a skin pack?
Well, you do have a lot of the skins that you got to pay for with Fortnite. But I mean, don't you want to play as Leonardo DiCaprio from One Battle After Another?
Wait, was that in Fortnite?
Yeah, that was in Fortnite. Him and Benicio del Toro.
That's a weird one.
Yeah. They got a child molester and serial killer in there with the Grabber in the children's game. So, yeah, man, they got that.
That's like when Space Jam 2 was like, we got to get Pepe Le Pew out here. He's a sexual predator. But the gang rapists from A Clockwork Orange, why don't you guys get in here and hang out on the basketball court?
Yeah, that was, I don't know yet. All the characters that you have at Warner Brothers, those were the people you decided to do there. But yeah, they did a Fortnite collab, I guess, helping market the movie. I don't know if there's a lot of overlap between the One Battle After Another crowd and Fortnite, but okay, anything to do it there. So you got that. But yeah,
very strange.
Yeah, so you kind of got that going on. But it seems cool. People are playing that new like Simpsons world in Fortnite, which seems pretty
I've
cool, I
heard
guess.
that has jumped up their player count maybe the most of anything, any crossover IP thing they've ever done before.
Yeah, people love the Simpsons. Yeah, got renewed for another season, I think, recently. The
I mean,
31st season, I think.
I feel like it's got to be farther along than that. Like, let's see, Simpsons newest season. I'm willing to bet it's at like 35 at least.
Yeah, I know it did get renewed for some new season there recently. Uh,
37 is the most recent one,
ah,
so
thir-
38 will be the next one coming out.
38. Okay, so 38th new season.
For a show where there's only about, I'd say, 5 truly great seasons, like it is incredible to me that it is still on.
Yeah, somebody's watching. I don't know who, but somebody's watching it.
Syndication reruns. I mean, rewatching it on streaming. Yeah. I mean, I've had at least one friend's like little sibling just discover Simpsons for the first time, a couple years ago, and then binge like 35 seasons because middle schoolers have a lot of time on their hands. But like that proves that there's even kids today even are like getting into the franchise or getting into that series still for the first time and then watching all of it and becoming fans. So it's got pull. It's got pull.
Yeah, it's our One Piece right there, man. So it's our One.
It's been on about the same amount of time. What's going to be funny is if One Piece actually does end first.
Yeah, that's a good race. To put money on that. What's going in first? Simpsons or One Piece? That's good. That's a good race there. Yeah. So just that, do those reviews, do that news, like I say, rate somebody after this. Christina, Cosmopolitics, she's on the political content creator there, streamer, also does movie reviews as well. She does it with Movie Night Extravaganza. I've been on. She's been on many times before on my show. She just helped me review Wizard of Oz. That was good that she was on. She had a lot of knowledge about Wizard of Oz and the whole behind the scenes thing with Wizard of Oz. So good fun facts there, discussing that with it. Some stuff I didn't know about Wizard of Oz, so that's pretty good there.
We'll probably
Um,
be doing a Wizard of Oz video game review in the not too distant future because the sequel to Lies of P, or at least the big tease at the end of that game, is now we're going to do like a dark fantasy Wizard of Oz game.
Interesting. Okay, I'd be interested to see that there. Dark Fan. I know people really like it. I know you really like Liza P. You did do a review for it, for the channel there. And I'm looking at some Wizard of Oz video games right here. I see that Cinemassacre, angry video game there. He did one for Super Nintendo. He did a review for that one. The Wizard of Oz. So I don't know what you would exactly do in Wizard of Oz as a video game. I guess just avoid the witch, I guess, or
Well, I mean, if it was a straight up adaptation of the movie, I don't know. And if you're going off of the book, yeah, it definitely is a movie thing. If you're going off the book, there's a lot of wild, dark fantasy stuff going on. So you could get some pretty crazy places with that. But
yeah, just like your typical side scroller here. Okay.
yeah, it looks like a lot of the Disney ones, like like the Lion King side scroller, the Beauty and the Beast side scroller from that era.
Yeah. Which I did play those. Yeah, I did play those back. Why does she? I don't know why Dorothy has a wand. I don't know why she does, but okay. Um,
Huh.
maybe, maybe it's from the book. I don't know. But there you go. And she shoots stuff out of the wand too. Okay, there you go.
It looks like
Uh,
Kirby's little star stick.
oh yeah, it does kind of look like that. But there you go. So if you want to play that, there you go. They kind of made Dorothy look like an Olsen twin right there. I don't know.
I was gonna say with the hair and the color of the clothes, she almost looks more like Glinda than Dorothy.
Yeah, a little bit there. And there was actually some photos, of some behind the scene things. At first, Dorothy was supposed to be blonde, but they
Mm,
changed it and just stuck with Judy Garland's original hair color. But she's had this like big blonde wig and everything like that. It's like she did look more like Glinda than Dorothy there.
interesting.
So yeah. So Christina there, and then future streams. So Wednesday, Neil is gonna join me. Hopefully he's still up for it. Gonna do Spider-Man for Thanksgiving. I'm gonna drop that on Thanksgiving Day.
Nice.
So he can join me for that. Then as well there, Friday, hopefully Dust can join me. We're doing a review for Now You See Me, Now You Don't. Do a review for Wicked for Good. That's the whole reason we did Wizard of Oz, so we could in preparation for Wicked for Good there. And then the horror movie Keeper, the new Osgood Perkins movie starring Tatiana Maslany. Do a review for that. I also think coming out this week is I think that's pretty much the big movie is Wicked. I know next week there's Zootopia that's coming out, which is going to crush. That's going to do really well. There's that movie there as well. There,
I honestly thought that already came out.
nah, man, the animal's still out there, man. You still gotta. That's gonna be fun being the grown adult with no kids going to Zootopia.
Getting looks in the theater.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever even seen the first one. I haven't even seen the first Zootopia.
I have not either. In fact, I've honestly not seen a lot of the Disney movies the last probably decade and a half.
Yeah. But I mean, people love Zootopia. Zootopia is one of the, I think, new era, maybe classic Disney movies that people really like. So people really love Zootopia.
I've also heard a lot of the people that do love it question why there's another one.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know exactly what they do in the first one. I solve racism, I guess. I don't know what they do in the first one. But
so easy, you can do it in an hour and 40 minutes.
Well, there you go, man. Hey, it's easy, man. But the sequel's coming. It's probably gonna make $1 billion, probably, I would imagine. So they got this, Disney's got this, and they got Avatar. So probably can back-to-back $1 billion movies for November, December. So
another Avatar movie.
Yeah, another Fire and Ash is called there. 3 hours and 13 minutes. Wow, that's gonna be crazy.
I'd be lighting myself on fire after that amount of time. But
yeah. All right, so yeah. So do that. Yeah, next week is Utopia, but this week we get for Good Keeper and Now You See Me, Now You Don't there. So do a review for those ones. Yeah. So get into these reviews there. You want to do news? You want to do reviews first?
Let's do the Fujimoto one first.
Okay. And before we get into it, let people know about what you got going on, what you got coming up, all that good stuff.
Yeah, you can find me over at Rated M for Immaturity, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, all under that exact same name. Follow us on Twitter, you get notifications for when we're going live. Made my first meme today, so maybe I'll start doing that slightly more often. You can also follow a link to our sale page for our book on Amazon up there. Just recently got this out last month. Been a very successful first month, way more than I could have expected. And it's a big dinosaur war story, blowing each other up, military, political satire. Otherwise, if you want to just come hear us talk, say a bunch of dumb stuff and hang out and play games, you can see us every Tuesday, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're going to be playing Metal Gear Solid going forward. We just finished the remake of 3, and we're going to go visit some old school stuff and play the very first one. And then we finally got a Saturday stream up there, which is what you were just showing. That won't be the next 2 weeks, but then after that, we should be kind of back to doing it every week again. So it'll be good. We finally got that second show back up and running.
Yeah. So this is your Twitch. This is your YouTube right here. That was your Twitch before. So yeah, people can't catch your streams. They're usually streaming Tuesdays, Saturdays. People can find you here. You can find all the vlogs here, there, and you playing all the different types of games there. Playing Metal Gear Solid, playing action games, adventure games, stealth games, there, fighting games, JRPGs.
Got point and click adventure games,
horror games, all that good side scrollers, all that good stuff there. You're just playing all over here, so people can backlog a huge amount of games there. People can do. Do you have Red Dead on here?
No, we have not. We've never done any Red Dead Redemption on the channel.
Oh, okay. Damn. Never done any Red Dead Redemption. Well, hey, get the new one coming out for modern consoles there. And you could be playing that. You could play that as well on the channel there.
And that first one is a pretty reasonable length as far as accomplishing a whole game. 2 is so absurdly long, but I guess that didn't stop me from playing it through twice. But still, it's pretty big to commit to on a stream.
Yeah. But yeah, Red Dead Redemption, Red Dead 2 there, but Red Dead Redemption getting a upgrade there for there. All right. You think they should make a remake Red Dead Revolver there?
It was a different studio, and it's such a different type of game that I mean, I'd be curious to see them what a remake of that might look like, but it would be a very different type of game, or the original is a very different type of game.
Now, is there any crossover between the two, Red Dead Redemption, Red Dead Redemption? Or...
There are like some fan theories about how the main character of the Red Dead Revolver might exist or play some kind of have an impact on like the history of like the world or whatever, but I don't think there's anything too concrete.
Are you more of a Red Dead Redemption guy or Red Dead 2?
I mean, I really love both Red Dead Redemption games. I mean, I loved the original when it came out. I loved two. I think two to me marked a just new level of like sophisticated storytelling for like Rockstar as a studio. Like, I love the first one and I think it's great, but two really was like, honestly, might be one of my all time favorite westerns. Period. Movie or otherwise.
Wow.
So I think the first one is really great, but two, I don't know, two just hits a certain something special.
Yeah. How long did this take to come out between both of them? I think it was, I forgot how long it was, like 10
Red
years?
Dead Redemption 1 was 2010, and I remember that very well because it came out the same week as Alan Wake 1, which is why Alan Wake 1 got no attention. It was completely crushed sales wise. And then Red Dead 2 came out in 2018. It was, I think, in either October or November of 2018.
Yeah. There's like a good video about this game of like kind of the shortcomings of it. Maybe I'll send it to you. Maybe to ruin your enjoyment of it. Maybe that'll help. But yeah, but I really like Red Dead Redemption too. I think it's really great there. But I think I maybe prefer the first one better. I think I like a lot of the characters.
Did you ever finish the second one?
Yeah, I finished the second one. Yeah, so I had him coughing all the way up until the end. Yeah, there. There you go. There. So yeah. And then maybe next Monday, you'll have that review for Ghost of Tsushima there. You got that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few, honestly. I could do Ghost of Tsushima. We got Dispatch. Got the Indiana Jones DLC.
Yeah, Dispatch would be really good. A lot of people loving that Dispatch. That's the big hot new game out right now. All the episodes out right now, so the story's done.
Yeah, they did a nice format for it. Like, if you remember the Telltale games back in the day, they'd do an episode, and then a couple of months later, there'd be another episode. And it would take like a year and a half for them all to come out or something like that. Whereas this, you get 2 episodes every week for like 4 weeks, and then it's over. And they had it all kind of ready to go and finished.
Maybe Invincible should take some notes, man. Maybe we should have that. All right. So, you said, which one did you want to do first?
Let's do the Fujimoto one. I feel like that might be the shortest.
Okay. I'll cue that up and get that started on that. All right. Man. Oh, good stuff there. Yeah, so you do a review for that. Maybe next week, Dispatch there.
Definitely.
Awesome if you could do that. Then show wise there. I forgot what else. I don't think anything else is out right now.
I don't think so. There's some stuff ongoing, but yeah, nothing quite at the end yet.
Fallout Season 2, when is that happening?
That's in December, I believe.
December. Okay. So that's in December. So there's that.
Have me and Ulysses come ruin everyone else's good time.
But yeah, maybe I'll like the second season better. I'll like the second season much better, maybe. All right. Good stuff there. Okay. All right, let's get into it. So, our first review of the day is going to be for the anthology series 1726 there. This is from the mind there of Fujimoto there, who people might know is the creator of Chainsaw Man. So this is an adaptation of a collection of his short stories there. So you had that.
And I looked up what the title actually means. It's the ages he was when he wrote all of these. So he wrote them between 17 and 26 years old.
Oh, okay. Nice. It's like when Zack Snyder, when he wrote Sucker Punch at a young age, then he adapted it, Okay, so you got a lot of that going on. Okay, so yeah, you got all these different stories there of this, and it's
that would have been 13 to 13 though.
Eight episode collection here on this Amazon Prime. Like I said, anthology. So every episode is different there, different themes, different set of characters, different issues and problems there. But with all of that Fujimoto weirdness and sexual tension there, and violence and blood and guts, all the stuff you come to expect if you have seen stuff like Chainsaw Man, things like Look Back, which was also Fujimoto's there, an adaptation of his work, which was also that was also on Amazon Prime as well. Look Back there, so also
We're getting
which
close to everything he's done having been adapted.
yeah, and we loved that as well. We loved Look Back. I think it was one of your favorite movies of the year.
It was. It was. I absolutely adored it, and I think they recently said they are going to be doing like a home media release for it.
Nice. Okay, very cool there. So yeah, that's what we got here. So it's 8 episodes. We're gonna be discussing it, talking about our favorite episodes there, least favorite, much like we do with anthologies. Sometimes anthology shows can be a mixed bag there because you have this collection of different things kind of going on. So we'll kind of get into that there. But Sage, what are your thoughts here on this series?
Well, speaking of the sort of unevenness of a lot of anthologies, yeah, not all of these are like my favorite thing ever. There's a couple I think that I stand out to be more. But what I will say is even the ones that I'm not as into, the animation I think seems pretty spectacular across the board. Even when the story isn't necessarily my favorite, it is consistently impressive on like a visual stylistic level. So that's one thing I think, especially because it's so short, that makes it worth watching, even if again the stories aren't all hitting super hard. But I think you could tell. I mean, the dude's a total weirdo, right? I mean, if Chainsaw Man didn't tell you that already, this definitely gives you just the sense that this dude is kind of out of his mind. Some of these stories are very out there and very weird. Like just that very first one with the where these kids are hiding as pretending to be chickens in the schoolyard of a school where aliens are going to. I mean, it just the premise on its face is so out there and weird. But I do think he does manage to sort of ground some of his strangeness in a lot of very realistic human emotion, which I think, again, even when I'm not the biggest fan of each individual one, there's still something there, I think, clearly that he's hitting on, even if it doesn't always feel fully fleshed out.
Yeah, and you get a wide range of things here. Some of the episodes like focus on love, focus on relationships, focusing on violence there, and sometimes all the things mixed in together there. I think thinking about this, thinking about this series, some of my favorite episodes. I think I really enjoy Woke Up as a Girl Syndrome. I like that one, which was the seventh episode. No, the sixth one.
And it had some of the
There,
most creative animation flourishes too. Like every couple seconds, it was like changing styles almost entirely.
yeah, that one I think was also the most visually impressive with that one. That one was really done. And the whole premise of that one was about just well, somebody woke up as a woman. I mean, all of a sudden they just this guy just woke up there as this woman, and how he kind of deals with that and the treatment from his classmates there from that. And then he even had a girlfriend, and how do they deal with that? I thought that was it was classic kind of body swap type thing humor that you had there that was kind of funny that kind of worked there with that one. I really enjoyed. Now this one is more of a seems like a connection to Chainsaw Man there in the backstory with that, where you have Nayuta there
Yeah,
who's
Nayuta. At least that's how I've been saying it. I could be
uh,
wrong too.
Nayuta there. Yeah, I think it was Nayuta there who was it's about the prophecy. So she's the control
It's like,
devil there, or prophecy devil. Uh
I mean, it doesn't have quite. I don't think that label on it. She's just I think she's just generally a sort of antichrist, sort of, end the world demonic entity. There's some stuff here in that one in particular that if you keep watching Chainsaw Man as it goes, you are going to see a character with the same name at some point. I don't want to give much away about that because it's not exactly what we're reviewing, but there's seeds in this that will be like fundamental to some of the later parts of that series.
yeah. very, like you said, very omen-like, like this child, like this whole town that she lives in wants to kill her because they see her as the devil, and that she is gonna she even has horns like a devil.
Yep.
She even has that, there, so people want to kill her there. Sometimes with Hellboy, I mean, he's got people wanna kill him because he looks like a devil, but at least
True.
at least he saves people. This girl seems like she's just weird. She's you know, she can't even really speak in, like, she can speak English, but she speaks in full sentences, but it's like when somebody asks her a question, she can only speak in like about death or murder or gore or pulling things apart, or you know what I mean. She can't say I'm hungry. It's just like, no, I want guts or something, or blood, anarchy, like something like that. And the one who's raising her she has her older brother there, and she loves him and he loves her there, even though she might bring about the end of the world. But I mean, hey, family love and all that. Um, so this is like a connection to Chainsaw Man and in that, and maybe like I said, to talk about it deeper from your perspective, would be a little bit more of a spoiler.
Yeah,
For
because
that.
we're that stuff is like that won't even be season 2 of Chainsaw Man. We're talking like season 3, like
Mm,
material.
yeah. Um, if I had to think of like a weak episode, I'm trying to think of like a weaker episode for me. The episode where they were in the rain, what was that? Love is Blind. I
Yeah,
think
yeah, Love is Blind.
to me that was kind of a weaker one. I thought. What about for you? What was a weaker one?
I'd agree. I think that might be my least favorite. I think that one it feels a bit more like they just have like a bit that it's doing kind of the whole time, but it's not. It's just kind of more and more like over exaggerated versions of that same bit rather than as much of a little mini narrative as the rest of the episodes are.
Yeah, because if I remember correctly, a lot of the premise of that episode is like you have these two characters, and he's like, I think, trying to like confess to her how much he cares about her, and then it's
Yeah, I mean, he just can't bring himself to do it, and crazier things keep happening. And he's like, "Oh, but I'm not going to let this get in the way." And it just becomes, it's really just feels like a sort of a play in absurdism. But and I don't know if it feels like it evolves too far beyond that. Some very good animation in it, though. I will say.
yeah. But yeah, it just doesn't feel like it really goes that many. I mean, it's funny a little bit, and these things aren't very long. They're only like 12 to 20 something minutes, so they're
Yeah.
not very long there with that. But yeah, I think that was kind of a weaker one. If I had to say another weaker one, I wasn't really too big of a fan of the mermaid one. I didn't really like that one too much there.
Yeah, I thought that. I'd also say that one is okay compared to the others.
Yeah. So for me, I think some of my favorites, I mentioned Nayuta, the prophecy, the woke up as a girl syndrome one, and the assassin one I liked as well.
That was
That
the
one
other
I
one I was going to bring up that I really enjoyed.
Yeah, and it's that story is all about this girl who's like you see that from an early age she was fucked up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see her go against the girl with the prophecy girl and see who's more fucked up. But yeah, so you see that she just from an
Could
early
have a
age she
whole
was always
competition with brackets for Fujimoto characters in general.
she was like just she had seems like she had a normal childhood and normal parents, but she just liked to kill small animals, which is always not a good sign there. And then she grew up to be like this top level assassin. She meets this guy, and this guy asks her to kill him. And then when she tries to kill him, there she can't because he's a vampire. Different vampire rules here because even blows his head off and he won't die. But
Yep.
he's like are they saying like maybe he's Dracula, maybe, or even like the first vampire, maybe? Are they saying?
I don't know if I got that sense. Just at least old for sure. At least old. Very,
Yeah.
very old.
So yeah, you got that. And I like that. And then eventually,
That one weirdly had almost the most wholesome, in a way, outcome at the end.
that was one of the brighter ones, yeah, for sure. I would say the one where the kid catches the bullet that has a really good
That's true.
fight.
That's true. That one is
Yeah,
also just one of the. That one is one of the ones where you really are like Fujimoto. You really are out of your goddamn mind. This is so weird. What are you smoking?
so you got that there. There was the episode Sisters, which that reminded me a lot of Look Back.
I think, yeah, I think similarly how the Nayuta of the Prophecy, you could see seeds for Chainsaw Man inside that story. I think you could see seeds of Look Back's story a little bit in that Sisters one, because it's very similar in terms of like this just kind of sort of understanding of like what can make a great piece of art and like why people are even create art in the first place and whether they're doing it for like good or bad reasons, and that's a broad way of saying it, but I think that those things are very shared between them.
Yeah, so that kind of reminded me a lot of that one. Even similar, I think the way the characters look and the animation there, I think looks very similar to
Well,
kind of
there's one of the girls in Look Back, and then one of the sisters here looks almost identical, and then I there or oh actually no, sorry, I'm mixing up my character designs. It's one of the sisters in Look Back, and then it's the girlfriend in the Woke Up as a Girl Syndrome episode, and then there's another character again later, like season 3 of Chainsaw Man, that is also, I swear, that same character design used again. People have been speculating that this girl, she's a little bit of a she can be a little bit of a bully, every single one of these characters that looks like this. So he told a story about this girl pushing him off his bike in like grade school, and people are thinking like that must be what that girl looked like. He's like drawing her as like a bully into a bunch of his different stories.
Okay. Interesting. But yeah, you have that episode as well there. That's okay. I think it's fine. With that episode, I think it's a pretty decent one there. And we mentioned that one in the first episode, which is you mentioned it earlier, which is the chicken episodes. You have the human race has basically almost gone extinct because aliens took over, and then the aliens like to basically their food is consuming humans. And they've been basically doing that. And once they took over, they just like, okay, I guess we like this place. They settled in, they became human themselves. They started going to school.
Wearing their clothes and everything.
Wearing the clothes. I mean, all things like that. And then some of the only kind of surviving members of humanity either live in like the mountain there. And then you have these other characters you see pose as chickens because the aliens have a hard time distinguishing between animals and human beings sometimes. So that gets distorted. But somebody finds them out and then, tries to help them, an alien there. So that's kind of, how'd you like that episode?
I thought that one was decent. I think some of the, as far as like action animation goes, it had, I think, some of the best animated sequences in it. I don't know. I don't think, yeah, not my favorite, but I think there was some fun to be had to it, and it is one of the ones that has like what feels like a very fully explored narrative. It's like you had this idea. I think you got as much out of it as you're gonna get.
Yeah. It did have the best action, I think, out of the series. You are correct in that. I think.
And there's a monster design that feels very reminiscent of Chainsaw Man in that too.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because I mean, the other ones have action in it as well, but I think that one's the most like, anime traditional, maybe shonen type action.
Definitely.
In that first one. How would you rank the episodes there?
I see. I mostly thought about what my top 3 would be more than anything, which I think would be the Nayuta of the Prophecy, the Shikaku. That's the vampire episode. That's episode 4. And then as a third, maybe the Woke Up as a Girl Syndrome, just purely, honestly, even more than anything else, for just the stylistic sensibility of the animation, because it just tries so many things and just does so much so quickly. After that, I'd probably put a lot of them just kind of closer to each other. After that,
okay.
But
and then what will be your least favorite? Do you want to say?
I think my least favorite is we just mentioned it too. What was the
mermaid one?
I don't. It wasn't even that one. I think it was the one where they're standing in the rain. Yeah, Love is Blind. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that was my least favorite.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I said my favorite. It's the Nayuta of the Prophecy woke up as a syndrome girl. In the assassin episode, that one was really good. Shikaku. Shikaku there. That one's really great. I think those 3 are pretty much top for me. The ones that are just okay are like Sisters is okay. I find that all right. The Stop the Bullet there one, Saska, Stop the Bullet. That's fine as well.
Which I know that that's out of all of these, that's Fujimoto's personal favorite. Is the Stop the
Mm,
Bullet one.
okay, he wanted to stop a bullet for somebody
I
there.
guess so.
He had a crush on his teacher there. Yeah. Okay, so there's that one. The Alien episode there, that one's fine as well. I think I put that in this looks like it's fine category. I think the action, like, it really kind of does a lot for that, and it has an emotional kind of ending to it of what kind of happens there with that. This kind of dystopian type thing there, and I think Fujimoto showcases because it has both elements of crazy action, also this kind of dark type thing aspect of it as well, and also these human resolve, human kind of characters there with that one. And
He's great at just monster design in general too. So one thing that stands out about that Alien episode is just the number of alien designs just in like the background in some of the scenes. Like it's just there's just so many unique looking designs.
yeah. Um, and then also because it's cool because the aliens have like a second form. They go Super Saiyan and they
Yep.
can have like alternate form and shit like that, which is okay. It kind of reminded me of something like Fooly Cooley. It kind of reminded me of something like that.
Totally. Yeah, it definitely has that energy.
Then like I said, the bad ones, Love is Blind. I didn't really like as much there. Then Mermaid Rhapsody. It was like in that whole episode, we didn't really talk about it much, but that's about that this boy and he discovers a mermaid and it follows more the traditional, I guess, lore of mermaids, that mermaids eat men and eat humans, but he goes under the ocean and he's able to play like there's like a piano down there and he plays piano and then he I guess romances one of the mermaids and everything like that.
It was
Uh,
also weird how much the mermaid, like they made a point that like, oh, this mermaid that he likes looks like his mom too. It was
mm,
kind of strange. I don't know.
okay.
There's a little Oedipus complex thing happening there.
Okay. It's like Frankenstein. Okay. Yeah, I like that. But yeah, so you had that. It's just I don't know, just what I didn't really want to dig it all that much there with it. And the animation style with it looked kind of not an animation style I'm too big of a fan of when it comes to anime. It's just me
Yeah.
personally there. Just too kind of bright and kind of sunny and yeah, cutesy there for me. But yeah, so I got that there. So that'll be my list. Best, worst, kind of okay in the middle there. And this is does he have any more collection of short stories, or is this pretty much it?
There's one more thing called Goodbye Erie, and that is not a short story. It's I guess it classified as a one shot manga, which is basically one full volume, and so that's basically the same length as Look Back. So that I would not be surprised if that there's an adaptation in the works of that at the moment. And then Fire Punch is this that's like a longer series that he did before Chainsaw Man. But that's all that's left of stuff that this guy's done that has not been animated. It's just those two
Mm,
things.
gotcha. Okay. So for me, I'd give it a good tune in. For me, I think it's more good than bad. I think with this anthology series, which is what you want. So I think there's a good ratio of good episodes to bad episodes. What about you?
I'm in the exact same place, just kind of a regular good tune in. I think these stories are interesting. But you can also tell that they're a young storyteller experimenting with ideas, right? Before really committing to something longer, like Chainsaw Man, where he's just got a more kind of complex, developed sense of what that narrative is, or Look Back even, right? So I think it's very much a young artist trying things out, seeing what he can get to work. I think it's very cool that this got animated at all. I honestly wasn't expecting this to. I figured this would just be like that thing. It's like, oh yeah, if you've seen all of Chainsaw Man and you just need some more Fujimoto, go read this little set of short stories. And then, well, there's an anime version of it. I think if you're a big fan of this creator, definitely recommend it. If you just like anime and you just want to watch something that's pretty quick and easy, I think it's good for that. I don't think there's any like masterpiece stories in here, like I would say Look Back is. I think he really evolved as he went. But it's cool just to see kind of where someone started and where they are now.
Mm, yeah. get inside his mind a little bit more there with this story. So that's pretty cool.
The labyrinth that you can't find your way out of.
Yeah. So that was our thoughts. 1726 on Amazon Prime right now. People can check it out. Short watch, only 8 episodes. I watched it in the night. So watch it in the night there. Only, like I said, 12 to 22 minutes. So good. I think enjoyable binge there for people. All right. Good stuff there. So since we're talking about TV shows, I'll do the Vince Gilligan. I'll cue that up since we're talking about TV shows already. All right. Good stuff there. Oh, Vince Gilligan. Did you watch all of Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul?
Oh yeah. Breaking Bad is my favorite TV show of all time. I've got it's kind of far away on my shelf. You can't really see it, but in that back left corner up there, I've got the like collector's edition box set that is like the barrel he hides his money in, and you open the side and it's all the discs for every season.
Do you think it ended well? Sometimes shows have a.
I love the ending. I think it ended great. I'll say what else. What I will say is, I think once you get down to the last like 2, maybe 3 episodes, I think it becomes a little predictable. But I've always said I don't think predictable is necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes something is predictable because it's set up well, and it only makes sense for the thing that was set up to happen. So I think it gets right at the very end. It gets slightly predictable, but not in a bad way. Just in a, you've done such a good job architecting this whole thing that it only makes sense for it to play out this one way.
Do you think Better Call Saul is better?
I don't think it's better. I think it is. I think Better Call Saul is very, very good. I think it rivals it at times. But I don't think it's better personally.
Okay.
I think it gets close though. I think it's like it's maybe the greatest spin-off show ever made. Which, I mean, not that that's necessarily got the highest bar, but you know.
Okay.
There's maybe a couple. There's a couple. I actually think Angel is a better show than Buffy, personally.
Okay. What about Frasier? You think Frasier is better than Cheers?
I do think Frasier is better than Cheers.
I didn't watch a lot of Cheers. I only watched maybe like a few episodes of Cheers, but I've watched most of Frasier. So I've watched most of that. So I know they did like a reboot with Frasier or something. They brought it back.
I have not seen, but I heard it from like everyone that it was like universally terrible.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen it for myself, so no judgment that I'm passing. It's just what I was told.
Yeah. All right, let's get into this. So our next review of the day is going to be for another television series. It's going to be for Pluribus, which is the new Vince Gilligan show there. You starring Rhea Seehorn there. Vince Gilligan, a famous name in television there. He's done two of the greatest shows of the 21st century, many critics say, and I would agree with that. Better Call Saul is amazing there, as well as Breaking Bad there. It's all the crazy memes you see. Walter White on Super Mario Galaxy there, Super Mario, get all that good stuff there. Memes, Mario Kart of him there. That's the funniest one. I love the Mario Kart of Walter White driving. But yeah, created 2 of the greatest shows that people said of the 21st century, and he's back again in a highly anticipated return to TV with this new show called Pluribus there, which is on Apple TV Plus. And people are already raving about it. First people saw it there. That made me want to check this out because of that. Highly praising also the name on this project, because I've been a fan of his other earlier work there. Also, I can't forget he was also one of the writers on Hancock. Can't forget that as well. He was on. He was one of the writers on that.
I did not know that.
Yeah, the 2008 Will Smith film. Yeah, he's one of the writers on that one. Hey, you got to start somewhere. You got to start somewhere. But what is this show about? Well, this is a weird show here. So you have this show set in this world here that's been overtaken by this mysterious alien infection. Even they try to describe it in the second episode. There's one of the characters that is talking to her that's been overtaken by this thing, and she says, well, what are you? And he says, well, it's kind of like a virus, but it's not a virus. We don't know how to actually describe it there, that has overtaken the whole world. And what
Pluribus
it does
really is the best name for it.
Yeah, which is a Latin phrase.
Yeah, it means of many.
Of many, yeah, out of many, one there. So it's part of a whole Latin phrase there. And yeah, so they don't even really know how to describe it or fully, say what it is. But the closest thing they say is kind of like a virus. It's kind of like this infection there. And what it does is it takes over these people and it causes everybody to feel this sense of happiness and joy and elation and a sense of all wanting to work together there. It's a hive mind where billions of people are all connected to each other, can feel what each other's feeling, can talk to each other via telepathically, no matter where in the world they are. They all share the same experience, consciousness, all that, except for 13 other people. And one of them is Rhea Seahorn that you see there. So for some reason, we don't know quite yet in the show, and maybe I want to explain a little bit because I'm gonna mainly talk about the first 2 episodes because I've seen it, but you've seen the 3 episodes there of it, which are out right now.
I'll say
But
that the third one is definitely still building. I wouldn't say
okay.
there's any like major reveals in the third one yet.
Okay. And I know I saw an interview with Vince Gilligan, who said that he wants this maybe will be 4 seasons, 5 seasons, maybe.
I think I saw him say 4, but he also kind of made a point to say like when Breaking Bad was coming out, its very first season, he thought 3 seasons for that show, and then it ended up being like 6 technically. So, it's that sort of you never know for sure, but
Yeah. So for right now, that's kind of his game plan there is for that. But our main character that we follow, as I mentioned with the actress Rhea Seehorn there, who was also on Better Call Saul. She was amazing in that show. She plays Carol, who's who writes a lot of these romance, trashy, fantasy kind of novels there.
hates doing it too.
Hates doing it, even though it's making her a lot of money. She has a lot of fans who love it there. But yeah, she has, so that's kind of there. She's one of the people not affected by it, and she's kind of working on something when this moment happens. And the first episode is basically like a zombie invasion type movie, basically, where society kind of you see everybody's being taken over, and there's some people who the transition was smooth and they're able to just to be converted, but then with other people you see that it doesn't go so well and they kind of pass out and they seizure and they die. So she even asked that to the point of the process there of, what about some of the people who didn't make it? It's like there was like I think they said like a billion or something, maybe people died.
888 million, I think.
888 million. So a lot of people there that they killed in the transition process. And the way that this kind of works is that if you don't consume fluids from the other person there by like kissing or anything like that, you can also do it like by spitting in like a water bottle or something like that. Because initially it starts off at like this medical facility trying to, which, that's always never goes good. And then it breaks loose that way. And then once it converts those people, they do a cotton swab of their mouths, put it into like a petri dish, ship it off to all these different people there. That's how they get infected.
And it was, people were, it was like cigarettes they were smoking. It was like passing it. So like they put it into like a bunch of commercial products and like shipped them around. And so they just kind of tried to get it into everything. And I'll say too, it was a lot of fun watching that first episode and watching all that play out because I didn't look at any trailers, marketing. I knew the title of the show, basically nothing else. I knew it was sci-fi, but that's it. And so watching all of that play out, and I'm just like, as soon as like they start kissing each other to spread the infection, I'm sitting there going like, what is this? What are we doing here? But I loved just the way it was building the tension in that first episode. I think it does such a good job of making sure like you don't know how bad this situation actually is. Like there's so much sort of just really good tension in all those scenes because like you said, it does feel like almost like an apocalyptic sort of zombie movie sort of scenario, except they're kissing each other. so like tonally you're like, all right, am I worried about this? Am I not? I don't know.
Yeah. And you see that, yeah, it kind of starts off that way. And in Rhea Seehorn, you see her character there who she wants to figure out how to reverse this, how to change what's kind of going on and reverse the effects, bring back humanity. And then she convenes with like 6 other people because they speak English. They can speak English as like a second language or third language. So she also is able to have these creatures kind of help her meet with these other people. And they're very helpful. They can't say no. They're the ultimate people pleasers. Like whatever.
There's a great scene in episode 3 I won't get too into, but you do see a bit of it in the trailer. That I think is maybe my favorite example of that so far.
Yeah, and it can even get a little. I'm going to talk about it later on. Get a little strange at how that much that can go. But yeah. What are you thinking, man? Pluribus, man.
Man, I'm loving it so far. Like I said, I just in the first episode, that sort of very tense, not knowing exactly how bad the situation is, what is it that's being spread around, and then I think the explanation of it being very interesting. And because it's this sort of kind of hive mind, sort of like shared population, like mental thing going on, one of the things that I think would always stand out in Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul is anytime they had a scene where they were filming like a some sort of task or process being carried out. So like in Breaking Bad, it was a lot of time the sequences of them actually like cooking the meth, right? And the way that they would film that and like the kind of montage of it. Well, here you are able to have every task that anyone accomplishes in the show being carried out by a hive mind of people. So that really sort of special, just very attentive, interesting camera angle filmmaking that you would see in those shows is like, I feel like here it's popping up like several times in one episode, every episode, which is something that I think, anybody that was a fan of that, I was like, I feel like that's one of like the hallmarks of Vince Gilligan. And here, this might be the most he's ever done it, like at the fastest pace, which I think is just great. And then like, for all the sci-fi concepts and stuff, and I love how much they're exploring that. But it also is, I think, just a really, really good, like all of his shows, a really, really good character study of this protagonist. And because everyone else in the world, with very few exceptions, is kind of part of this one other thing that she isn't, it's really even more so like hunkering down on a single character and almost exclusively just characterizing that one person. And I really love to see that.
Mm. Yeah. And it's interesting. I'm interested. I'm hooked, which is what a pilot and I think the second episode is supposed to do. People saying this is probably the best pilot they've seen in a very long time. There, because I mean, and sometimes a pilot is tough because you gotta try
Yep.
to make all your show kind of what it's about and condense it into like the beginning of a 1 hour episode there, and then
And I've
leave
seen a lot
people
of
wanting
pilots
more.
that I haven't liked, where then I've liked the show in general, but like it started rocky and then found its footing. But
Yeah.
this definitely is like hits the ground running.
Because you want to know the mystery of one, is she going to be, is there a cure? Are they going to reverse the effects of this? Two, what is the ultimate goal of this kind of species there? What are they doing? Because they say, like, they just want to, pretty much everybody to be happy and everybody get along and everybody work together and be very cooperative there. That's kind of their main thing, and everybody helping each other out.
Well,
You
and
know,
is it even truly like a different species? I feel like is kind of a question. Is this really all of the human beings that they are and behaving this way because of something that's just been done to them, or is there, are they, or are they a mouthpiece for something else that is kind of speaking through them? It's hard to even tell for sure which one of those it is, I think.
Yeah. And you see that, so there's a character, Zoza,
I think, yeah, I think that's how you pronounce it.
so she's one of the people that comes to Carol there, and she's kind of like the liaison between her and then the other species there. So like I said, they want her to join them. They want everybody to join them. Even if it's just 13 people, they want to. They even say like, "Hey, we're working on, with scientists, the greatest minds, to figure out how can you join us. Like, why aren't you affected by this?" And she's kind of like her own personal, person there that she talks to with these creatures. And she even looks like a character from the book there that she wrote, like a female version of it.
Yeah.
And like I said, they share all the memories. So if you were part of it, you share all them. Even people that died, you
Yep.
share some of those memories there. And then you learn in that interaction that they have that they're also impacted by other people's emotions to a severe degree. And you see that when a person's angry or violent towards them, that causes a chain reaction throughout the entire hive mind, which can cause even deaths there,
Yeah.
which that brings up. And you see that Carol, she causes the death of I think they say like tens of millions, hundreds of millions of people there.
I think 11 million is the number they give.
11 million there.
Which I
11
mean,
million.
then I mean that's horrifying, right? To her, I mean this person who is just I mean, yeah, like an author and a kind of a well-off one, but still not too far beyond just like a normal average person that would I'm sure has never taken a life ever,
Hmm.
and then for that to happen, I mean, it's like we're talking like Stalin numbers, like
Mm,
that's very disturbing, and the reaction she gives is visceral.
yeah. And she's very angry and upset because she lost her, best friend. And was it kind of implied that that was also her girlfriend, right? Her wife,
Oh,
maybe?
they straight up say I don't know if they were married, but at the very least part they were partners. Like that.
Okay.
That is without a doubt.
Yeah. Because you see also when it's in our house, you see a photo of them two like together, and it looks like a more intimate kind of photo there. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, and even when in the first episode when everything's happening and all the chaos and death is going on, and she has a great scene where she tries to get her to a hospital, and then everyone there is stuck and can't help, and so her girlfriend or partner passes away in the back of a pickup truck outside, and she's saying like, oh baby, please, please, no. It's very like it's just the kind of sort of dialogue that you would give to someone in a relationship,
yeah.
watching their partner pass away. And then that scene also, and I want to say this is something that I think has come up a few times that I've noticed across all 3 episodes, and that scene is one of them. But there are the cinematography and just like the shot composition of the show I think is really fantastic in general, but also there are these shots I keep noticing that I think are really, really good, where they'll film her just from the eyes up, whether she's looking over an object like the back of the truck bed, or like you could just see her eyes over an airplane seat. I'm just noticing a lot of scenes where you just see her eyes, and she's acting her ass off with just the top portion of her face. I'm just very, very impressed by that.
Mm, yeah. I mean, she's fantastic. I mean, she was fantastic. Yeah. I'm first time I ever saw her was in Better Call Saul. So that was my kind of my
Yeah,
first.
yeah, I don't know her outside of that, so.
Yeah, and I know Vince Gilligan. I mean, he sings her praises all the time and says how much of an amazing actor she is, and I definitely agree with that. Seeing her in both those things now.
Well, and he
Um,
basically wrote the show for her, it sounds like, too. Like he kind
yeah,
of had her in mind while he was coming up with the whole thing.
yeah, and we talk about, like I said, her experience with that. They call it the joining, is I guess the name for kind of what that happens there. And it's interesting when she meets other people and see their experience with it, because obviously she's angry and frustrated because of what happened to her friend, and like these things, these creatures, this virus killed her friend there. Um, but then you see her interact with other people who experienced it, and then you have some people, like there's a character this who's the youngest. I don't know exactly how young she's supposed to. She's maybe teenager, maybe, or maybe young adult, maybe in her 20s, who she wants to join it because all her family's a part of it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of an interesting tidbit. Then you have one woman who's like a mother whose son is a part of it, and all the rest of her family's a part of it. So you see that kind of aspect there. Then you see a wife there who's her husband's a part of it, and her daughter. You kind of got that. You see a father, and then he's not a part of it. His daughter is. So you kind of got their experience. Like for them, I mean, their family's kind of still there, so they don't have that same kind of reaction there. It's like, well, they still kind of here. And then you have one character who is taking full advantage of this kind of new world. You always got to have, anytime any dystopian things going on, he's like, one guy's like, this is my chance. Hey, this is my opportunity. Society has fallen. Somebody's got to rise above and be the king of this new world. And he's taking advantage of that. And then you have this guy who, he takes the presidential jet there, the Air Force One. He has these Playboy models who he's hanging out with there, these women who's made his Playboy models. And that's where it kind of leads into, none of these creatures, this virus, when people are affected by this, can say no. Do you think it was a little weird that they kind of had that aspect in the show there with the women and him, and all that was a little too much? Or I just want to get your thoughts there on that.
Uh well, there's some more stuff that adds to that in the third episode, which I won't spoil, but I do think they kind of further evolve and play with the concept more. And I I don't think it's too much. I feel like it's pretty. As far as what you see on screen, seems pretty tame to me. I don't think they're really showing anything graphic or gratuitous. There's some implications of things that might seem graphic or gratuitous, but I don't think you're really seeing anything too bad. But there's some building on that concept and just exploring like what like how far does that go? This is a scene in the trailer actually where Rhea Seehorn's character asks, like, if I asked you for a hand grenade, would you just give me one? And they're like, yeah, why not? Okay, what about a tank? Sure, we could get you a tank. It kind of doesn't seem to have a limit, and that's just from the trailer. But there's a longer scene that's from in the third episode that I really think that's an interesting concept, and just wondering what are the limits, what like are they, is there ever an exception to this, like how does that play out? And then it makes you have to kind of question the morality of this character. I'm forgetting his name now, but yeah, this character you're talking about, because if they're not
Kumba,
allowed to, what was it?
uh, Kumba.
But yes, that's right. But yeah, and I think the show, at least I think in the third episode, it's starting to nudge you in the direction of like, are they telling Rhea Seahorn everything that he's asking of them? And I think that there's a very interesting sort of question the show's bringing up there of like, if they can't say no, what's to stop someone from completely taking advantage of the situation and even abusing the people that are part of this collective, right? I won't say that it's gone so far as to say he is, but the question is definitely there.
Yeah. And like I said, I mean, and they can't say, and they can't lie. It seems like they can't lie at all. So they can't have any type of negative emotion, their anger or deception or disappointment of they can't cause disappointment to anyone there. There's a scene where, she's trying to pick between, she says, because the guy Kumba wants to have not Kara, the character Zoza, they are
Mm-hmm.
part of his harem, I guess there. And then so,
Hashtag secret harem.
yeah. He's got his whole harem there a little bit. And then so she's like, well, I can't pick between you and him because it'll cause disappointment in one of the other person. So, I can't make that choice there. It has to be between them. And then they even ask them when they're having dinner, can you actually kill anything? Can you kill, animals, cows, lobsters, snails, anything like that? They wouldn't be able to kill it. They can't cause harm on any individual thing, even a mosquito or ant or anything like that. But they would boil it. They would, if you killed it yourself and brought it to them, they would prepare
They'd
it for
cook
you.
it for you.
So you got that. So it's a workaround, I guess. They got a middle ground with it. So that's kind of interesting. Like you said, how far can this actually go and how far they could take it? And I don't know, would they? I don't know. I mean, I don't want to ask you. I mean, where do you think this is going? Because it's so early in the show there, and it's 4 seasons, and lots probably going to get built up over that time. But yeah, I mean, it's a very interesting concept with that. It's just I don't know how long it's going for 4 seasons. How long can they stretch this premise, and what more can get revealed there? And it'd be
Yeah.
interesting to watch that. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm wondering. I've got a lot of kind of just thoughts and questions that I haven't even fully processed rolling around in my head. I think I certainly think there's definitely a lot of reveals to come. I think if he's thinking 3, 4 seasons already, there's some big stuff that we're going to be getting just in the first one here. I the only like major prediction I'll make is that I think this sort of collective uh, emotion receptacle thing that's happening, where they can like break down and like collapse and freeze because of a great like outpouring of emotion, somehow that like that, because we mentioned how she didn't really like these books that she's writing, that she's putting out in the world. But you do get in the first episode conversation between her and her partner about like a book she does care about that she's been working on for a number of years, and is like, oh, it's not ready, but like this is the book I actually want to be writing, or the work I'd actually be proud of. And I'm wondering if that book will end up getting finished, or at least whatever she has of it will be used to cause some sort of emotional effect on this hive mind. That's my one prediction.
Mm, yeah. And hey, that's going there, Neil. I forgot to mention Neil.
Hey,
Thanks for
Neil.
showing up, man. Oh yeah. So you're saying that they need to watch like Zack Snyder's Batman v Superman. That's what you're saying. Maybe that'll
Well,
snap
they'd have
people.
no emotional reaction to that. I mean,
They need to see something there, something that's gonna snap them out of it, man. They need something emotional there.
only if anger is the thing that snaps them out of it.
Okay, yeah. And she's talking to him about like trying to come up with a plan to like how we're gonna reverse humanity. But then some of them are like, I mean, Kuma is just like, well, I mean, isn't kind of humanity better? I mean, there's no war, there's no violence, there's
Racism doesn't really seem to matter anymore. If this, like, yeah, there's a lot of that's the thing is like there are a lot of upsides to on its surface to this situation, but I mean, I think the audience, I'm sure most people that watch this, they're going to be on the same page as our protagonist that like there's something clearly else to this, like obviously this whole signal that was picked up on that then caused this to begin with. Where exactly did that come from in the
mm,
first place, right? Like that, I assume must be something that is going to come up later on, and like that's like the marker signal in Dead Space, kind of tricking people into being like, no, 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 this is great. Being a collective is awesome. You should want to be part of it. We saw
mm,
how it worked out for those people, so.
yeah. And what do you think? Why do you think 13 people are not impacted by it? Why do you think? Do you have any guesses there?
I honestly don't. Because I mean, they're all different. I mean, it's a combination of men and women. They like none of them have their nationality in common. I was trying. I was racking my brain trying to figure out like what is the thing that all of these characters have in common. Their perspectives on what's happening are different. Their ages are different. Their like I said, their sex is different. Their nationality is different. I don't know. I'm still that's like a very interesting mystery to me though.
Mm. Okay, yeah, it's kind of interesting. Yeah. See, I don't really have any kind of theories as of yet. Unless I don't know, these 13 people are meant to as together as a collective judge something or be some type of decision they're supposed to come together maybe as some as unison maybe to in order to reverse some a decision that the hive mind has already made maybe there. And you think I mean, maybe people say like, well, if these creatures can do whatever you want, and then why can't they just because reassuring multiple times tells them like, why can't I want humanity to go back to where it was?
Right.
Why don't they just,
They can't do that. Yeah,
yeah,
they can't
they
do
can't,
everything.
yeah, so they can't reverse what they've done to humanity there. They just, I guess, Zoza says they just exist,
Yeah.
basically there.
Well, and what's interesting too is, I mean, you get in the first episode, there's this kind of the whole sequence where she's at a book signing, and when she gets in the car at the end of it, she starts. That's when she starts talking about how much she does not like the book that she's making, and the limo driver like asks her a question. He's like, "Oh, anything I would have read?" And she's like, "Only if you like mindless trash." And you start to get the sense that she had sort of a way of looking down on certain people in society in a similar way that she's looking at this collective, like she already kind of saw sort of this empty-headed uh mindless sort of gathering around something like her book that she thinks isn't good to begin with. So there's an interesting character thing there of like how much has her perspective on the world at whole changed, and if she already saw people that way, does she really want to change it back to the way it was when she already had this attitude about it's like there's a lot of very interesting character questions there.
Yeah. So not do a review for. Wait till it's done. It's 9 episodes. 9 episodes there.
Okay.
Along the series. So not doing the traditional 8. They're doing 9 there. They got that. And yeah, I trust Vince Gilligan. I mean, he's landed the plane twice. He's made 2 great series there and ended them both really well. So I've trusted he'll, at least close out this first season very well. But yeah, I'll continue watching this show. And I'm definitely interested to see where it goes next. What about you?
Oh, same. Every step of the way, man. I'm right there with you. I think this is. I already just feel like it's going to end up being one of my next like absolute favorites. He's never steered me wrong. I love both of these other shows, and I I have a hard time finding any reason to not just be really, really excited about this. Like I already can't wait for the next episode to drop.
Yeah. I can't wait. I can't wait for the next episode. Doing weekly episodes there. Another reason to maybe to get Apple TV Plus is also Severance on there, which is another big sci-fi hit for them. And then I hear that show with Rebecca Ferguson, Silo, is pretty good. I've not seen it, but I hear that's pretty good as well there. So it looks like sci-fi is their thing. It looks like Apple TV does really well with sci-fi, I guess.
I mean, hey, somebody needs to. I feel like sci-fi, like the recent Dune movies have been huge as like big box office successes, but I do feel like sci-fi, like true sci-fi, like really in depth, like really exploring an idea philosophically. Sci-fi. I'm not talking about Star Wars. I'm talking about things that say things. Um,
We had the Dune
it's
show. You love that.
No, I did not love that. But I do feel like a lot of that, like very, very slow paced character study sci-fi tends to have the smallest audience out of a lot of genres. So I'm glad that there's something where a lot of sci-fi stuff is happening.
Yeah. So you got that with Severance and you got that with this. So Apple TV Plus there. So if you can check it out there, I recommend it there highly. Both highly recommend it. So that was our thoughts. Pluribus there. All right. All right. Move on to this movie review. And then check this out. Right. Good old movie review time. Only one movie review of the day.
Going old school.
Going old school, 1987 there, all the way back with this already. All right, people. So our next review is going to be for a film, and that film is The Running Man. Not The Running Man that came out just recently here, just this past week, but Running Man all the way from 1987 here. This was the first adaptation of the Stephen King novel there. Stephen King was the author of The Running Man, which he wrote this book. 1982 is when he wrote The Running Man there. So not that they got adapted pretty quick, only 5 years. It was a quick adaptation there for this. This is starring
and under a pseudonym that he wasn't even like known to be his book at the time either.
Yeah, Dick Bachman, Richard Bachman there. You got that. And here it's starring Arnold Schwarzenegger there in this 1987 film. And Arnold Schwarzenegger, humongous star in the 80s there. At this point in his career in the 80s, he had already done Terminator. He had already done Predator already, which was in 82, I believe. Predator was. I want to say it was an 82 there. I want to say.
Let me check for you here just to see.
Oh no, Predator. That was in 87. That was in 87. The same year.
Oh, there you go. Well, 87 was a big year for him.
Yeah. So yeah, he was a massive star there coming up there. He also had Conan the Barbarian was also big there. He had that film, Commando as well.
Total Recall.
Total Recall was in the 90s. Yeah, that was 90s.
90s movie.
Yeah, 90s movie there. But what is
Mr. Freeze and Batman and Robin a few years later?
Mr. Freeze, yeah, that was a classic role, iconic there, all the way in 97 there. Jingle All the Way, which was in 96. I love that movie.
Kindergarten Cop.
I mean, hey, man, the bangers.
Trivia, I don't know if you know this. In the first Silent Hill game on PlayStation 1, there's a creepy elementary school level, and that elementary school is modeled exactly to detail after the school in the movie Kindergarten Cop.
Oh yeah, I think you did tell me that before. Yeah, so that was a fun reference there for that one. So I think his career honor was kind of cooled off, and I mean, no pun intended, Mr. Freeze, but it kind of
let's kill the dinosaurs.
But it kind of cooled off a little bit there in the 90s because, like, I mean, Batman and Robin, that was a disaster.
Yeah, that's only like kind of nowadays, like a really fun guilty pleasure sort of thing.
Yeah, and then I know Last Action Hero was a big bomb for him. That didn't do very well, but he did have True Lies, and he did have that. Jingle All the Way was also seen as really, I think, I love that movie, but I know it's seen as like really, really bad.
When did Twins come out? Because that was mixed in there, right around that same time.
Twins, that was 1988.
Okay, closer to this one.
Are we getting the Twins too? I thought we getting that, right?
There were rumors for a while that they were going to do a sequel called Triplets, and Eddie Murphy would be the third brother.
Okay, I'd love to see that. Let's do that. Hey man, before they
I'd watch it.
But what is happening in the Running Man here? And why we're doing the Running Man, like I said, because the new version is out right now. You have not seen it,
Not yet.
not yet, but we did a review of it. Me and Dust did. This is the Edgar Wright version here, and starring Glenn Powell. I will say I do like the newer version better, but I don't think it's like a great movie or anything like that. I think it's okay. I think I gave it like a stream it. With this, I don't think it's like fantastic at all there. Um, but it seemed like we talked about in the movie and we referenced this 87 version, which I had seen for the first time before the newer one because I had not seen it before. I wanted to watch it. I do think the 87, what the movie does better than the newer one is I think it does the satire better. And I think there's better kind of it works better with the setting here than I think in the newer version, where I think it clashes with, do they want to be more of a straightforward sci-fi dystopian movie, or do they want to be more of a satire parody kind of thing there with that. But if people don't know the Running Man, so it takes place in this dystopian world, dystopian America. There, you have Arnold Schwarzenegger, who's a
The book takes place in 2025 too.
2025, and I think in the movie, the way the movie opens, I think they said the future year is supposed to be what 2017 is the future
It's
year.
2017, and then there's like a 2 year time jump kind of early in the film, and so it's 2019 is like the main majority of it. But
Yeah, I wonder why they shortened the time. Did they couldn't imagine 2025? that was
I
just too
guess
far. That
this
was
just
like, oh
sounds
man.
like too crazy. We'll never get there.
Yeah, that's too far in the future for that. But yeah, so you have this dystopian world there. Arnold Schwarzenegger, who's this policeman there. It's an authoritarian government, authoritarian state that's running America. And you have where Arnold Schwarzenegger, who's a policeman, who gets ordered. He's in a helicopter and he's flying over protesters. He gets ordered to shoot and kill the protesters. Unarmed civilians there, babies, children, women. Netanyahu's favorite dream there. And then when he gets ordered to shoot him, he refuses because he's Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's the good guy. He's the
Yeah.
hero. You know what I mean? A good American guy with an Austrian accent. And
Funny thing, I think this goes for this movie too, but in general, in the German dubs of his movies, he was not allowed to do them because his accent is considered was at least in Austria considered like a backwoods like redneck version of an Austrian accent.
oh, okay, I
So
didn't know that.
they did not allow him to do the German dubs of his own performances, even though it's his original language.
Oh wow, I did not know. Interesting fact there. But yeah, he gets ordered. He refuses there. And when he refuses, he gets put into a work camp there. And when he gets put into this work camp, he breaks out, escapes with some other prisoners there, some other famous prisoners you might have seen in some other sci-fi movies. Yafet Koto is also one of them there, who people might know from Alien. There as well there. And when he breaks out of there, he's all about, hey, I want to go, I want to, escape this place there. Now he's broken out, but he gets roped into being a part of a game show, a TV show called The Running Man there, where in this game show, if you win, you get to win your freedom. And this show is run by Richard Dawson there with his show, right? Who at this time, Richard Dawson was the host of Family Feud at this, which was a big game show. It's still a big game show now on TV. It's still pretty huge now. And then it's funny, I was watching the Honest trailer for Running Man, and apparently, I think also Alex, your co-host, he also said this, like he was doing a lot of kissing the women on the set.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
I guess that was something he was known for. I guess is filling up the women even on camera and everything. They're like full
That makes you
on.
wonder what he was doing backstage.
Yeah, and he works great as the Slimy because he's both the producer of the show and the game show host of it. Where as in the newer version, it's separated. We have Coleman Domingo, who's the game show host, and then Josh Brolin, who's the big executive over everything. But yeah, what do
And
you
talk
think?
about pacing, because all of that setup is in like what, maybe 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, they get right into it. They get right into the game pretty easy. I mean, that's the first opening scene is him in the helicopter, everything like that. That's all boom, work camp, boom, escape, there, everything. And then, yeah, Running Man's set off there. What do you think about Running Man 87?
Well, I hadn't watched this in maybe 20 years. It had been a while. But it was fun to revisit, honestly. The movie is not exactly a straight adaptation of this book, right? I think they took the sort of general conceit and then they made an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie based on the general conceit. So, like, I haven't seen the new one. I know that the character and kind of the backstory of the character with the sick kid and having kind of signing up for the game show as a way to get money, that is from the book. This whole thing of like being a like part of the military and then disobeying an order because he's just too good, and that's definitely all original to this. But I will say that it does manage to have a very, as goofy as it is, it's got a very consistent tone. Like it is always this same level of goofiness. And it's funny too because you're talking about all the mention the Mr. Freeze puns and stuff. I feel like this movie was doing that before Batman and Robin ever even had the chance. Like in terms of Arnold one-liners and like killing a bad guy and then having a sarcastic pun to make after. This is almost the first film that really was doing what that ended up kind of becoming later.
Oh yeah. I mean, he even does like one of the cardinal sins any actor can do is like he repeats a famous line for one of his movies. He does
Yeah.
"I'll be back," which was
Yes, he
Terminator
does.
there. But he does, yeah. I mean, it's just puns like galore
Yeah.
in this movie, like back to like when he's killing people. And then a part of this game is that you have like it's like professional wrestlers. They got all like characters and shit like that, like Buzzsaw and
It feels like professional wrestlers meets like the 1995 Mortal Kombat movie.
yeah, I mean it's just crazy with the names there, and they all have like a special thing. Like, of course, Buzzsaw. What does he do? He's got chainsaws and everything like that. Fireball. He looks like Firefly from Batman, and he's got a flamethrower. And then you got another guy. Who was the guy that was all lit up like a Christmas tree? What was his
I don't
name?
remember his name, but I thought it was absolutely hilarious that he was in, because that's what I didn't expect was him to come on and start singing opera.
Yeah, that's his gimmick is that he sings opera and everything like that when he's killing people, and then you have a character who's like the first one they face who's like Sub-Zero, that's his name.
Yeah.
He got that kind of going on. So
And
here's kind of a
it was even an ice skating scene.
ice skating scene there. He makes puns about all the people's deaths, all the people except for the guy that sings opera because he doesn't kill that guy.
Right.
The woman kills that guy. But here's an example here of all the puns that are in the movie there.
Give you a lift. Here is Sub-Zero. Now, Plane Zero.
So I don't even fully get that one. If I'm being honest.
I love you. Don't forget to send me a copy. That uplink, we can crack the code. Get it to make an underground camera network. Jam the network. That's right. Jam it up your ass.
That's not even a pun. That one's not even a pun.
Right. Keep it.
What happened to Gaza?
He had to split.
I mean, it's just kind of back to back. I mean, it's a lot throughout the movie.
And there's also like 6 or 7 that are just about someone's ass too.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, this seems like you said this movie seems like just a vehicle for Arnold Schwarzenegger at the time because of how big of a star. Not really because like, hey, we want to really adapt this book and do a good, faithful adaptation of the book there. And I have heard from people like you that this strays very far away from the book. Like pretty much only the name and kind of the game concept is mainly what they take from it, and that's really about it there with that. And then you kind of have like a pointless love interest in here that he meets when he breaks out.
I don't even feel like it's a love interest until the last 5 minutes too. Like I don't even think they don't even seem like they're building that up until the very end, and all of a sudden it's like, oh hey there, like out of nowhere.
You know, I guess because she's like, I mean, you're the only real woman here. Yeah, you know, so we need to do something with you.
It was funny though, because this is only the second time I've ever seen this actress in something, but she's also the woman that Nicolas Cage is tormenting in Vampire's Kiss.
Oh, okay. I didn't see Vampire's Kiss. Okay, so she's also
in that movie. She's just this poor office worker, and he's just the guy like in the big office. I forget if he's a lawyer. It's been a while since I've seen it, but she's just the person that his insanity just targets and torments throughout that film. But yeah, so I was like, oh wow, that's again, it's from the same sort of general time frame. So I'm curious what else she might have been in, honestly.
Looking right here, so it says she was also in Predator 2. She was also okay. She was in that there. After that, something noticeable that maybe you've seen her in. I'm looking through it here.
Not a
I don't
lot.
think you. Some TV shows mixed in
Sure.
here. Like The Nanny, she was in that. She was in The Nanny.
Okay.
But yeah, nothing really. I don't think too huge movie wise there. But yeah,
Well,
so
Vampire's Kiss is probably her best film then.
but oh yeah, here she is right here with Nicolas Cage in Vampire's Kiss there. So here she is. Maria Conchata Alonso there. So
Okay.
I got that. Mm,
Yeah, you feel terrible for her in that movie.
yeah. But yeah, I mean she doesn't really do much here. And I mean, like I said, she just
She
kind of
gets
comes in.
manhandled a lot. Like there's several scenes where Arnold Schwarzenegger just has his hand gripping the back of her neck, and he's just like walking around with her, leading her in front. And not just like the initial scene where he like kind of takes her hostage, but even after she gets put into the game show a bit later, right after she sees the real footage of what happened at the beginning of the film. And even when she's in there as one of the contestants, he still is like grabbing her by the neck and leading her around. And like, it's like, can you just let this woman just kind of walk up on her own? She's going the same direction as you anyway. Like,
Yeah, I did see that. I mean, his hand is humongous. I mean, obviously, especially on her little body there. But I get her character is supposed to kind of represent like because this is a authoritarian state and everybody's all this propaganda. She's supposed to represent the person who is succumbed to this propaganda and believes everything they see there with this. So she believes that he's this violent criminal that killed all these civilians and he actually did that. So, but you see that she breaks out of that when she learns the truth there. She does, what I mean? She doesn't believe the fake news. That she does independent research there with that.
once they start lying about her, then she's like, what do you mean you're making things up?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, she didn't notice like because her job is she works like she makes
I think they said
mu-
she produced like the theme music for the
yeah.
show.
She does the music for the show. So this is the first time she's ever noticing, I guess, this. It's like, wow, these people that put people in like these death games and kill them on TV. Wow, these are the bad guys, I guess. Wow,
Are
who
we the
knew?
baddies?
Yeah, who knew that? But I mean, it's still. I mean, I don't think this is a good movie, but I think it is enjoyable for some of the corniness and cheese of it, especially as I mentioned with Richard Dawson, who I think is even more than Arnold, maybe my most favorite part of it. What say
Oh,
you?
I'd agree. I think he's got some great, just sort of terrible, like there's just some great lines that he has in the film. He really sort of nails the sliminess, which maybe there's a reason for that, but he really does capture that really well. And I agree. I think the yeah, it's a cheesy, corny, frankly even stupid movie, but I think it's consistently the same tone the entire time, and I think it understands how to have fun. Although, again, that might be a criticism of it too, is the book is not trying to have fun. It's trying to present a dystopia. But just as a movie that is engaging enough to watch on a silly level, it knows what it does. It gets out pretty quickly too. I mean, this is only about an hour and 40 minutes, I think. Maybe
Yeah,
less after credits.
and that's the one thing I also kind of liked about this is like the newer one is like it's 2 hours and 15. It's like, oh, this is too long. It's like it's
Yeah.
going on a little
And
bit.
I think if you were gonna make it that long, I think you needed. And I haven't seen the new one, but I've heard a lot of things, and I've heard that it does not. It also does not stick very close to the book either. And I think if you were
Okay.
gonna make a movie that long, it needed to be like, okay, no, this is the scary story the book is telling, not the silly action movie.
Yeah. And and they try to throw in like with Yafet Koto's character, and then there was the other character he pals around with also in it. And
The
his name
nerd.
was yeah, the the nerd guy. I'm trying to find his name there. I think it was Harold, right? Harold.
Was it Harold? Okay.
That guy there. And they're people who are like they want to break people free. They were the revolutionary types. They work under the underground there. I forgot exactly what his job was. The Yafet Koto job was there exactly. I can't remember. He was a doctor or
I
something
think
like that.
Doctor was right actually. Um,
Yeah,
well, and I'll say too, like a movie that, as far as like movies go, that like capture part, at least just part of what they're trying to do. This I think I think it's fun enough for what it is. But I would honestly recommend They Live. as far as like here's actually the sort of dark dystopia done well, and then also it's silly and cheesy and campy and fun for that reason at the same time. I think that is almost a more successful overall version of what this is trying to be.
Well, I mean, you did have a movie that also came out the same year as The Running Man that also kind of crushed it in terms of what it was trying to do, which was this movie, RoboCop. There,
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I mean, this movie, RoboCop, is a genius put together film, and it goes so far with its satire. I mean, yeah, yeah, it's uniquely successful at this particular type of thing.
yeah. So yeah, that works really, really well with that there. But yeah, I think if you take it into that account there, I think it kind of fails a lot of what's trying to do. And haven't read the book. I don't know how much the game aspect is played up there and meant to be kind of satirical in the book and how much humor there is.
It is satirical, but it's not goofy funny in the book. Like it's sarcastically funny in what feels like a drier, more intellectual way.
Okay. Yeah. And so like I said, not very strong movie, but it has some enjoyable stuff in it. Arnold Schwarzenegger, I mean, it's like I said, mostly coasting off of his charm, his kind of presence there. Doesn't really handle the whole totalitarian future very well like that. Um, you get a little sense of that. I wanted more of that in the movie, but I mean, who can't laugh at something like Buzzsaw? And you also have like Captain Freedom in here, who's like a ripoff Captain America. Seems like that's like a ripoff
Yeah,
name.
my former governor.
Jesse Ventura, who Jesse Ventura is always fun to see him in movies there. He's really great in that. Who, of course, is returning from working with Arnold and Predator. So you also have that kind of thing going on there with it. It's kind of like I'd say a lowish stream it, maybe there for that.
I'd give it just a regular stream it because I did just laugh so much and have such a fun time watching it. And I didn't watch it alone too. I watched it with a couple other people, and just being able to laugh at it and make our own jokes and pick at it just a little bit and kind of pull certain parts of it that don't make a lot of sense apart in the middle of watching it. I obviously that adds something to the experience. If you're watching it alone, you might not get that, but I think there's enough to find humorous about it that I'd give it just a regular stream it. Because I agree with all the same criticisms, but the laughs it gave me give it just like an extra point.
Yeah. I mean, it's also kind of a fun cast when you look at the movie. Like Jim Brown was also in this as well. There, who he started an acting career after he played football. Jesse Ventura, we mentioned Richard Dawson there. You also have that character actor who was also in the trailer, Kurt Fuller, who people might have been in like tons and tons of stuff there. I'm trying to think of like a huge thing he was in.
He was a big part of one Adam Sandler movie, I want to say. I can't remember which one now, but one of them, one of the 90s ones.
One of the 90s ones.
I can't remember. He had a pretty big kind of season long villain character role in one of the seasons. I want to say like season 4 of Supernatural.
Yeah, he was one of the angels. Yeah, he's one of the angels in that one. But he's also been in like shows like Psych. He was in. It seems like
he's kind of an underutilized actor, honestly.
Yeah, it seems like his big one is his movie role is Ghostbusters 2. He's known for that, and No Holds Barred, which was that Hulk Hogan movie. So yeah, that there. But yeah, good use of kind of actors there. Sometimes just popping up as like the slime. He's probably like the slimy corporate TV people there. I think he works kind of there well in that aspect. The whole underground revolution thing is so underbaked and undercooked. They don't even really focus on
they barely spend time on that. It's very silly. It's very in and out. I mean, that's what I say. They did some of the ideas this movie's trying for better. That's one of the things I'm thinking of. But yeah, it's just there to have a like very schmaltzy sort of Hollywood ending to the whole thing.
It's cool. One of the main revolutionary guys is Mick Fleetwood. That's pretty cool from Fleetwood Mac. So he's in here. That's just weird. Like, why's a dude?
Yeah, that's Fleetwood? Pretty random.
Okay. And all the people you can get, I don't know. Maybe he was a big fan of the book. I don't know.
That's possible.
And he wanted to kind of be in it there. But yeah, and So this movie, so apparently the budget on this was 27 million, and then it ended up making 38.1 million. So not really hugely successful there.
Broke
The
even, but
Yeah, and then the critics gave it kind of mixed to okay reviews there. So kind of about how we were on it there with that. People praised some of its jabs at kind of media at the time because of the state. Who was the president in 1987? Was it still Nixon or was it Ford still?
uh,
Can't remember who the president was there at the time.
in 88 or 87?
87.
87. Well, it should have been the same term, but that was Reagan.
Okay, Reagan. Okay, that's perfect to do a movie like this with Reagan.
It does fit that. It definitely fits that. I mean, I can imagine seeing it at the time and going like, "Yep, that's what it's like."
Fun facts about this movie. So people who work with Richard Dawson on the game show Family Feud said that in real life he basically was the character of Damon Killian, in his handling of underlings there. So very much kind of there. It says originally scheduled for July 1987 release, it was moved back 4 months by TriStar to avoid competition with Arnold Schwarzenegger's other summer film Predator, which is 1987 there, which released in June. You had that as well. But yeah, some little kind of fun things. And people, the person who did the choreography for Running Man here was the dancers, because you have the dancers as part of the game show and everything. Paul Abdul.
I noticed that in the credits too. I also have to say, some of those sequences went on so much longer than they needed to be. Just as far as just showing it as a scene in a movie goes, like I felt like some of those scenes were like 5 minutes by themselves.
Well, hey man, you gotta show them dancers off, man. They don't have that really much in the new movie. They don't have those dance. They have like models and things like that, but they don't have it's not like huge dance sequences or anything like that.
They didn't go full the substance with it.
No, they didn't do that. No ass shots there with that one. And then it's funny, Charlie's mom. If you're a fan of Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Charlie's mom shows up, and
Real small cameo.
She's one of the people, because in the game show you can bring people down and says like, okay, who do you want to bet on that's gonna die next? Like, who is the hunter gonna kill next there? And so you can bet money on it. And she says, but she doesn't. Is she the one that says Ben Richards, or is it the other woman? I think it's the other older
woman. She's like the first person to come up, I think. So that's like the very kind of first person that gets called up out of the audience.
Yeah, so it's a fun little cameo there.
Who passed away just was it earlier this year, actually?
Yeah, earlier this year they passed away there. So rest in peace to him. So yeah, that's what we got there. So 2 streamings for the Running Man there in 1987. Awesome there. All right.
Maybe we'll see another version of the Running Man in Welcome to Derry later in the season.
Yeah. We're gonna get a flash to the future there. Here's the dancers here. Okay.
Well, technically, because of the way the Dark Tower works, they can all be happening at the same time, no matter what time period any of them are in.
Oh, man, it's some 80s hair, man.
Yes, it is.
Good choreography, though. I like the choreography. I mean,
no, I mean, it's very well done. I mean, I can understand why they wanted to show it off so much, because they put a lot of time into it. But at the same time, some certain scenes in the movie, it also just feels like it's going on and on and on. And I'm like, this is like the longest we've spent on any single moment in this thing.
Yeah. I mean, we almost came close to this. One day talking about doing this with criminals there, DHS. They were talking about doing that, like a game show or something.
I mean, I give it 10 years until we have this show on TV.
Oh, here it is right here. Yeah, they were talking about consists a reality show where immigrants compete for citizenship. Producers.
Yeah, that's basic. Yeah, it's close enough. That's basically the Running Man.
Yeah, there you go. So Stephen King predicted it, man. Stephen King did it.
2025. So like that, how dead on was that?
Yeah, King did it. Yeah. So you got that. All right. Did you already see The Long Walk? Did you already see that?
I haven't yet, but I want to.
Okay.
I don't know if it's on streaming anything just yet, but as soon as it is, I'm definitely watching it.
A lot of King adaptations. Welcome to Derry. Running Man.
Well, he writes so many damn books. Like he's like perhaps the most prolific author ever, just the sheer number of things. So yeah, I mean, there's go especially if you count older adaptations too. I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot of this, and then you even have stuff like Castle Rock or Welcome to Derry that are not even adaptations, but just extensions or original stories of his universe.
Mm. Yeah, I wonder how much he gets paid for that. I wonder.
Probably, I would think a lot.
Yeah, enough to sit on Twitter all day. I mean, definitely enough for that.
Well, he's got to write something.
Yeah.
Write tweets now. He's not writing books anymore. He's writing tweets.
Oh, he had another movie too, The Life of Chuck. That also came out this year.
Oh
too.
yeah, I also heard that was really good. I didn't see it though.
Life of Chuck. There, of course, it was made by Mike Flanagan, of course, but yeah.
Mike
his,
Flanagan is like the Stephen King guy now.
Yeah, the Stephen King whisperer. Yeah.
He's already finished filming his Carrie miniseries. That's gonna be a new adaptation of Carrie. He's working on The Dark Tower, which will, I think, probably be the first good adaptation of that.
He's just gonna replace Stephen King. He's gonna kill him, take over his identity. Like, what's the point of having Stephen King? He just said me.
I mean, he started it all, but maybe Mike Flanagan's like the guy he passes the torch to.
Yeah. I hear his son is pretty good. King's son, Joe Hill, right?
I haven't really read any of his books. I guess I don't know any of his stuff really.
I know I always hear people rave about his comic he did, Lock and Key, right?
Like, okay. I've heard of the name, but I've never read it myself.
Yeah, it got turned into a Netflix show. I think I watched maybe like a few episodes. I just wasn't into it. I was like, I don't know. Yeah, I think most people weren't. It didn't. I think it only had like one season or so, some shit like that.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, haven't read it. I'm not even really aware of what it's about, to be honest.
Yeah. All right. So, getting into this then. Game Awards. I'll pull this up. Oh man, they couldn't just wait till we did our predictions, man, and then they could have just copied off us. I guess we
can make predictions about who's going to win.
Yeah, true there. Very true. All right. Let me go to the website again. That'd be better just to look at the website
I know
there.
Polygon also has a good, like, easy to read list of things.
Yeah, is this Polygon I'm on? I'm on Mashable. I don't even know what the hell Mashable is. Have you already voted?
Not yet. I'll probably do that tonight.
Well, I'll do it right now. I'm doing it with you. Go ahead and vote it. People see how biased I am going for these. All right, people. The Game Awards 2025. The nominees have been announced there. Just today. It was there. So they just fresh, hot off the presses there, these nominations. People even haven't started bitching yet. That's how fresh and new this is with these nominations. I know a lot of people probably already heard Claire, Obscure Expedition 33 is the big nominee here with 12 nominations.
12, and that's the most that any game has ever had. So wow. It's kind of broken a whole record. I'm predicting it wins at least 5.
Okay, and we'll see which categories you'll think it'd win in there. And with this one, so it's the Everything Everywhere All at Once of the Game Awards, basically.
Yeah, one. Pretty much.
Hey, how's it going there, Lucky Dog? Lucky Dog podcast. I saw you on streaming. I guess you. Oh no, you're still streaming. You're just yeah. He's playing that Simpsons World in Fortnite. It looks like there. So loves that Fortnite. All right, let's get into this. Do you want to start with Game of the Year first? Or you want to work way bottom and then go up?
Let's start at the bottom and go up. And there's definitely some on the lower portion that, like, I don't even, like, best esports team or whatever. Yeah. Where I don't even know anything enough.
You don't have a best esports team. So yeah, I
don't even know who any of them are.
I mean, respect to them. Shout out.
Liquid Pit sounds the grossest. So I don't know. I'd vote for them just because the name.
Liquid PH. Yeah.
Oh, Liquid PH. Okay, that's. Let me full screen the video here so I can see better.
So shout out to them, I guess. Okay. All right here. Best esports athlete. You got that?
So I don't know a single one of these guys.
I don't know any of these people either, but respect to them. Congrats.
Yeah, hey, they must be good at it.
Yeah, you got people who play Valorant, League of Legends, Valorant, Street Fighter. Hey, he's a Street Fighter guy. Okay. Another Street Fighter guy.
That's what it sounds like if, like, my parents would talk about a video game. It's like, oh, what's that game? Street Fighter guy?
Yeah. playing that game. Counter-Strike 2. Okay, so they got that. So, all right. Congrats to them. Let's see here. Oh, what the hell? Hold on. Messing up on me here. Let me go back to the nominees here. So best esports game. You got that as well there. This is also not a category you probably are that interested in either, but
I couldn't even tell you. It's all stuff that I definitely, I just don't have any engagement in.
let me go previous there. Dang, this site sucks. What the hell? Maybe I'm gonna go to Polygon. Maybe
Yeah,
I'll
that
give it
one
one
might
more.
be easier because I don't think you'll have to refresh or like transition between pages for that one.
Let's see here. Yeah, let me go to the Polygon one. Or maybe people voting right now on the site and they can't handle the traffic. Maybe
Could be. That could be it.
Let's see here. Okay. Let me go all the way down again and come all the way back up here. Okay, so their list is a little different how they have it on the Game Awards site here. So this is most anticipated game.
Okay, I gotta say that is always something that I'm like, I don't feel like that should be an award. Just like, what are people looking forward to? Like, you get an award for just being the most looked forward to? Like, that's not the game doing anything. I don't know. That's a weird one to me. That's always been a weird one.
You got 007 First Light, Grand Theft Auto 6, which probably Grand Theft Auto 6 is probably gonna.
Yeah, for as far as just the largest number of people, like I don't see any world in which that's not number one.
Marvel's Wolverine there, that also is there. Resident Evil Requiem and The Witcher 4. So I think,
I mean,
yeah,
if I had to personally pick one, it's probably Resident Evil, but Grand Theft Auto 6 is easily going to be the largest number.
So you got Content Creator of the Year. I know that
idea.
excites you. Okay.
I just couldn't even tell you who most of those people are, at least.
Shout out to them again. So you got, we already covered that. Esports game, I don't really know much about esports games there. Games for impact. You got Consume Me. You got what's this? Despelite there.
I think so. Yeah.
You got Lost Records, Bloom and Raise, South of Midnight, and Wonder Stop.
I'm not too familiar with most of the games in this category. South of Midnight is one I really would like to play. I just haven't had a chance to do so yet. But I do think that game looks like it's got some really great stuff in it.
Yeah. And I know a lot of these games, they're for like if they do something advanced, like, if they do a game for people with disabilities or they have, a lot of diversity in the games or something like that. I know they do those for that. So that's kind of cool. They do those.
I think there's a separate innovation and accessibility thing further up too.
Oh, okay. They got also that category too there. The only one I know of these is South of Midnight.
Yeah,
That's
same. I mean, I guess I've seen some trailers maybe for some of the others, but I don't know much about them.
Debut indie game. So this seems like a pretty lock of if it was going to win, one of the ones that was going to win is this one, maybe.
So it's interesting. I think it might, but at the same time, it's up for just game of the year. There's also a separate just best indie game category that is different from debut indie games. Debut indie game is it's the studio's first game, period, versus just in general best indie game, whether it's their first game or not. So I actually don't think it'll win that one because I think it's going to win some other stuff, and then they're going to be like, okay, well, let's not give it everything to this. But
so you got Blueprints, you got Clay Obscure Expedition 33, Despelite, and then you got Dispatch. Dispatch might sneak it. I don't know.
I think that's possible. And that's also the only thing that's nominated for. So I think that gives it a pretty good chance. Blueprints is also a really, really big indie game this year. I mean, people are calling it like one of the best puzzle games since like Myst back in like 1993. So I think that Blueprints has a very big chance at winning, I think, too.
Yeah. Megabunk. I haven't heard of it. I don't think I've heard of it.
Yeah, that one I'm not too familiar with.
Community support, Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, No Man's Sky.
Very much not all of them are quite live service, but definitely in that sort of kind of ongoing thing. I don't know. None of those are ones I really mess with too much.
Best adaptation. People were
None
mad
of them.
about this. I did see people mad about this because this didn't include Sonic 2 or Sonic 3.
Well, I wouldn't give it to that either, but
So yes, they did include that. I forgot. The Sonic 3 came out. When did it come?
Is
It
that
came
this
out
year?
towards the tail end of last year. It came out December.
Gotcha.
So
Oh, okay.
it
So it
wasn't.
doesn't. Well, so that's interesting because you'd think, well, that was last year, not this year, so it doesn't count. But Indiana Jones is on here a couple times, which came out in 2024, not 2025. But it is on here because it was so late in the year last year that it didn't make it into the previous year's awards.
Okay, so you got a Minecraft movie. I hated that movie. It was one of my. It's on my list of worst movies this year. We did a review for that one. We did a review for Devil May Cry.
Yep.
That was okay.
It's
It
fine, but
was-
like it should not win any awards. I mean,
Splinter Cell Death Watch. I know that's on Netflix. I haven't seen it. I'm not like I guess I don't care about the franchise of Splinter Cell, so I never really checked it out.
I don't really either. And The Last of Us season 2 was a cartoon shit show that completely fell apart in its second season. So I don't know why that's on there.
I haven't watched the second season. Nick and somebody else came on for a review of that. I still have not watched the second season. So I can't really say. We did a review for the first one, but I wasn't for the second season. Until Dawn, I didn't like Until Dawn either. I didn't like that movie.
I haven't seen it yet, but I know I'm not gonna like it.
So out of the stuff I've seen, I guess
Devil May Cry, but I mean,
what's gonna win? Probably a Minecraft movie. That movie made like $1 billion or close.
Yeah,
to
it's probably gonna get it because of that. Yeah.
Yeah, Chicken Jockey and all that other shit, I guess. Okay. Best VR/AR game. You got that. Alien Rogue Incursion, Arcane Age, Deadpool VR, Ghost Town, The Midnight Walk. Okay. I don't really see any of these things.
Yeah, no idea really.
You said what Tim or Alex or Ulysses, they play a lot of strategy games, right?
Yeah, I bet I could ask them and they might be able to give a good answer for that one.
Civilization 7, Final Fantasy Tactics. Oh, that's the game Neil reviewed. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
So he might want that to win. Jurassic World Evolution 3, The Alters, Tempest Rising, 2 Point Museum. Okay. I don't know. Final Fantasy Tactics. That's the one I only know about. So I know Civilization, but I know that one too. But yeah. Okay. Best sports racing game.
I would have said Mario Kart, but to my surprise, that Sonic racing game did get higher review scores than the new Mario Kart, which is hard for me to believe on a personal level. But
yeah, but this is also all fan votes, right? I mean, so you got to think.
Well, only I think it's only like 10% of the like criteria for who wins is based on fan votes.
Okay, gotcha.
It's the majority of it is like any other awards. Like there's like a committee of people who like play the games and then vote for stuff.
Okay, that's pretty good. So best sports racing. Why do they separate that? I mean, racing is a sport, right?
Well, it's putting in one category together.
Well, I'm just saying, like, why not just say best sports game? Because like racing is also.
I guess it's just to clarify if people don't understand, maybe.
Okay, people don't know racing is a sport. So yeah, you got esports FC 20. That's the soccer game, football game. There, I think, and then F1 25, Mario Kart World Rematch, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. There, I mean, I think maybe. I mean, you say maybe since it's mostly critics, I don't know. Maybe since they gave it higher reviews, maybe they'll give it to Sonic Racing.
Yeah. Otherwise, like as far as like the F1 game goes, I'm not sure exactly how well that did.
Yeah. So I don't know.
People do like their F1 racing.
Yeah, people do love that. I mean, they did a whole movie about that guy who became one from playing the video game, which wasn't too bad actually. It wasn't too bad. Best RPG, Avowed. You did a review for that, right? Avowed.
No, we talked. It's one I may do at some point, but I haven't had a chance to just yet. That's Obsidian, which is the same studio that did the Outer Worlds too, and so they released a couple games just in this 1 year.
Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Monster Hunter Wilds, The Outer Worlds 2. What do
My
you think?
money for best RPG for the winner, I think it's going to be Kingdom Come Deliverance too. Although I say I would personally give it to Expedition 33, but I think that's going to win Game of the Year. And so I think, but I think behind the scenes they're going to say, okay, well, if Kingdom Come Deliverance isn't going to get Game of the Year, let's give it best RPG.
Okay. Best ongoing game.
It's probably going to be Marvel Rivals, to be honest, out of
Marvel.
those.
Let's go in there, man. So Dirty Nero Main says the best RPG of the last couple of years was Final Fantasy, as far as I'm concerned, because it's an action game.
Yeah, because it's not an RPG.
Best ongoing. So Final Fantasy 14. You said held up. You said Marvel Rivals. You said.
I feel like that's likely. I feel like it just has the sort of hot spot, like this was big this year. It had like kind of a just giant outpour of support for a while. I feel like it's got a good chance, but I could be wrong.
Okay, it's the new kid on the block.
Yeah, I think that helps a lot.
So got that best mobile game.
I got nothing to say about mobile game.
Best independent game.
That one's going to be tough because there's a few options there. I mean, I think Blueprints has a good chance of winning that, but Hades 2 is also that's a huge deal as a sequel. But you forget Expedition 33 is an indie game. As much as it's got like the scope and feel of a AAA game, that still counts. So, I mean, it would be what I would vote for yet again. But
but this is a pretty stacked category. You got Player Obscure Expedition 33, which was highly reviewed, highly critically praised. So was Hades 2. So was Hollow Knight Silksong.
And so was Blueprints. Blueprints is another like 9 out of 10 across the board type thing.
I haven't heard this Ball X Pit.
I know it's Devolver Digital published it, but I don't know too much about the actual game.
Absolm. I think I maybe have heard of that. Absolm.
Solum, I think. I want to say I saw maybe Rage Select do a video for it, but I wasn't really paying a lot of attention.
Okay, now I'm looking at the art for it. I think didn't we do a trailer reaction for this?
We might have.
I think we did.
We look at a lot of trailers, so it's possible I've just forgotten.
It was this one here.
Oh yeah. We totally looked at the trailer for this. Yes,
yeah, and we said we were excited for it. I think I said.
Yeah, it looked like it had at least some promise to it.
Yeah.
Cool art style, great sort of 2D animation.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. With that one. All right. So your prediction is Player Obscure Expedition 33.
Well, I would personally vote for it, but I actually don't think it's going to win this category. I think Blueprints actually has probably got this one on lock.
Oh, okay. Interesting. All right. Best fighting game, 2XKO there.
None of them this year. I didn't really play any new fighting games this year. And 2 of these are collections of old arcade games too. I don't even know how that counts, but whatever.
Yeah, like Capcom Fighting Collection.
That's not that's I don't know. That's weird because that's like a bunch of 20-year-old games in a collection. That's not.
It's not a brand new thing.
Yeah. Sometimes they're stretching to just add stuff to these categories.
Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection.
Yeah, it's just like Mortal Kombat games from before the year 2000. What are you talking about? Why would that be in here?
Virtua Fighter 5 there. You got that Revo. Okay. Fatal Fury City of Wolves. I think mainly it's probably going to be this one. It's going to be 2XKO there.
Probably.
It's going to be that one. Because, you're going to have, like I said, 2 of these are just remixes of old games, like just re-releases, collections. Then even this is
only
also
3 real games in there. Or is that one even a real game?
Virtual. It's not like it's a new game. It's just like an updated version of that game.
Well, that shouldn't be on there either then.
Yeah, it's not like a brand new game though. Even though they did show off like a new Virtua Fighter, that they did show off like a new one, but that hasn't come out yet. Yeah, I don't know about Fatal Fury City of Wolves. I don't know if that's like brand new. Let me see.
Watch that not be new either. There's only one game in here that's a new game.
They had to stretch it. Yeah. So this did. Okay, so it's a brand new one. So it came out in 2020.
So you got 2 options.
Best family game.
Oh, Donkey Kong Bonanza. I think
Donkey
that
Kong
without a doubt. Yeah,
over Mario Kart World and Sonic Racing Cross World.
I think so for sure.
Okay. I mean, it is nominated for Game of the Year, so we do have that. Okay. Best action adventure game. Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, Ghost of Yote, Hollow Knight Silksong, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, Split Fiction.
Yeah, that one. So that's where this is where you start to get a little tougher as far as what's actually going to pull it. I think I would put my money on either Ghost of Yote or Silk Song.
Hmm. Okay. Because this is the more accessible ones instead of Death Stranding 2.
Well, Hollow Knight's pretty. Hollow Knight could be like Dark Souls level difficulty, so I don't know if accessible. I don't know if it's more accessible necessarily. Certainly less weird than Death Stranding. Death Stranding, it's so crazy. But you know what? Jeff Keighley's also like friends with Kojima, so maybe he
He's going.
influenced the vote a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Kojima is like that sort of auteur name, though. That award, with like a David Lynch, right? You'd want to give David Lynch an award for a movie, partially because it's David Lynch. You could see like very kind of pretentious art critics having that sort of mindset. So I could see Death Stranding winning. And again, I like the game a lot, but I still think that that mentality plays into maybe some people liking it. So
Yeah. It's gonna be like when Titanic won the best picture. It's like in the whole Oscar stage was the ship of the actual Titanic itself. It's like, gee, I wonder what's winning best picture. Yeah. So, well, there you got Split Fiction there.
Split Fiction's great, but there's a multiplayer category that I think that's what is going to win.
Okay. All right. Then you got Best Action, Battlefield 6, Doom, The Dark Ages, Hades 2, Ninja Gaiden 4, Shinobi, Art of Vengeance.
Hades, I think Hades 2 is almost certainly going to take that one.
Okay. Over some big ones like Battlefield 6, big ones like that.
I don't think. I mean, Battlefield 6 is one. I feel like that belongs in like an FPS category, like that. And Doom should kind of. I feel like that should be a separate thing. But also like Battlefield is like it's not like a small game. I mean, it's AAA, but it's like it is several tiers of like popularity way below like a Call of Duty. Even now that Call of Duty is not as big as it used to be, it's still several tiers below that. So,
Yeah. So you're going with Hades 2?
I'm going with Hades 2 for that one. And Ninja, I think honestly, if anything else takes it, it's going to be Ninja Gaiden is going to be the surprise winner.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good runner up there because I know people are a little disappointed by Doom Dark Ages. A little.
Some people liked it more than the last one, but again, we talked about that in the review we did. Some people felt like the last game was too hard. For me, that's what made it so great. But there were other people that definitely was like, "Yeah, this is too difficult," and they like this one better because it toned that down. So,
best score in music, you got Claire Obscure Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yote, Hades 2, Hollow Knight, Silksong.
I really think I think Expedition 33 deserves it. I think the music in that game is incredible. This is where I'd say Death Stranding would be maybe the runner-up. And a lot of the music in Death Stranding, some of it is like original score music, but it's also like it's also a lot of like a soundtrack too, like a lot of like licensed music that is very good. It's an amazing soundtrack, but I think Expedition 33 should be the clear winner here.
Yeah, a lot of these I've heard some of the music from a lot of these got great music. Ghost of Yote's got great music. Death Stranding has great music. And Hollow Knight's got, a lot of those got great music.
They all do, really. I mean, Hades too. The battle theme that's going on is really excellent.
Best performance. You got a lot. Wow, damn, they stacked the field here.
One of them's winning this one. I don't know. I honestly don't know which one, but it's going to be one of those three.
Jennifer English, Ben Starr, Charlie Cox, all for Claire Obscure Expedition 33. You have Erika Ishii for Ghost of Yote there. Troy Baker for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Silent Hill F. You have
Konatsu
Kato there. So what are you thinking?
I mean, see, it's between the three Expedition 33 ones. I'm not 100% sure who I think will get it. I'd probably go for Jennifer English personally,
Okay. Jennifer English.
but I think it's going to be between the three of them.
Mm. Do you think they'll like much what you said with Hideo Kojima? They have the same feeling towards Troy Baker. He's a awards darling. They love Troy Baker.
I mean, I think there is a little bit of that, but also I think he's such a big name, and I think there is a pattern. There's honestly a big pattern at the Game Awards of giving the awards to things that feel the newest on the scene. Like last year, Astrobot winning, or Baldur's Gate. Like the year before that, it was between Baldur's Gate 3 and Alan Wake 2. Like there tends to be a push for whatever seems to have the sort of freshest sort of style and artistic take on things, and also just the thing that seems to have like the biggest impact on the industry as a whole. And Expedition 33, I think, more than anything else, is like an indie game that feels like a AAA game, and like that game just really puts to shame so many of the AAA companies selling these $80 games with these insanely big budgets, and that comes along and does everything that you want a AAA game to do on this tiny budget in comparison. I think that sort of impact on like what the games industry is like right now and how that affects that, I think that's a big part of the reason why that's going to take so many things.
Okay. Best narrative: Clear Obscure Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yote, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and Silent Hill F. What are you thinking?
A few strong candidates in there, man, but Expedition 33 would be what I would vote for. I think it's got a good chance of winning that. I don't think it's necessarily, like I said, it's got 12 nominations. It's not going to take all 12 home. I think 5 or 6 maybe, but I think Best Narrative is going to be one of them.
Okay. Not Silent. You love Silent Hill F. Not Silent Hill
I like Silent Hill F a lot, but I don't think it is like Expedition 33 is like the Lord of the Rings of video games.
Okay. And plus, people got to play like Silent Hill F 5 times to get it. I mean, I ain't playing this shit.
That's the other thing is I don't think most people are going to get the entire narrative of Silent Hill F. If you do, I think it's really good. But Expedition 33, you can play one time and get all of it. So.
Best multiplayer. So you think this is where Battlefield 6 will win? Probably?
I think this is where Split Fiction is going to win.
Oh, Split Fiction. Okay.
I don't think Battlefield 6 is going to win anything.
Split Fiction. So you got Split Fiction, Peak, Elden Ring, Night Rain, Battlefield 6, Arc Raiders.
Maybe they'll give it to Elden Ring Night Rain so they can say they gave it to Elden Ring 3 times in a row. I don't know. But I think Split Fiction deserves best multiplayer.
Best game direction. You'll see a lot of the same games. You'll see Clear Obscure, Death Stranding, Ghost of Yote, Hades 2, Split Fiction.
Now, game direction is where I would pivot and go Death Stranding, because I think that one, it is so, like, it's rare in video games where you can look at a game's direction and go, this is clearly, I mean, obviously it's more than just Kojima, but you can still see this sort of fingerprint of his on the whole thing, and you can see that it's coming from this guy's brain, and then everybody's working to make that happen. So I think, I mean, again, I'd still would maybe on a personal level say I like Expedition 33 more. I might even vote for it over Death Stranding 2, but I think Death Stranding 2 is more likely to get this particular award.
Best audio design. It could get better. I mean, Battlefield, War, all that good stuff.
That's possible. That's possible. This is the one where I would go down to Silent Hill.
Silent Hill.
Because I think audio design is something that stands out, especially in horror, in a way that is very special.
Yeah. It is, true. Horror games. Yeah. You got that kind of going for it. Best art direction.
I'd go with Expedition 33 on this one. It's such a unique looking game. It really is a sort of visual style I don't think you've seen in a game before, right? That sort of like kind of Enlightenment era French Baroque painting style. Like that, it just doesn't, there's never been anything else in a video game that quite looks like that.
And Game of the Year. The big category, number 1. Donkey Kong Bonanza. I'm rooting for Donkey Kong. Let's see Donkey Kong. Death Stranding 2, Clay Obscure Expedition 33, Hades 2, Hollow Knight, Silk Song, Kingdom Come, Deliverance 2. Do you think Ghost of Yote should have maybe been in here? Maybe, or it seems like it's in a lot of other categories, or no?
I mean, I think they do that on purpose. Like, if something is in a lot of places, then maybe it does a lot of other awards, then maybe it isn't in the Game of the Year one. It depends on what it is for sure. But I mean, I haven't played Hollow Knight, Kingdom Come, or Donkey Kong, and I haven't really touched Hades 2 yet. It's on my list, but I mean, I could see Yote maybe deserving to be in there, but at the same time, I think this is a stacked category with a lot of great stuff, and I think there was a lot of probably deliberation on what made it in and what didn't.
Okay. So Clay Obscure, you think?
Oh, for me, for sure. I think this is almost certainly going to win Game of the Year. Again, just the impact on the industry I was talking about before, and sort of the price point of the game and the scale of what it's able to achieve on its budget from a brand new team. And again, I think that's the Game Awards always likes to give the award to something that is achieving something beyond just the game being good. And I think Donkey Kong, it's classic Nintendo, right? Nintendo's pretty consistent with those first party games. I don't think that's breaking any sort of new ground. Hades 2, really, really amazing indie game. It's a sequel to an amazing indie game that already exists. You kind of know what you're getting a little bit. A Hollow Knight, kind of the same thing. It's a seems like a great sequel to a game that was great. You know what you're getting. Death Stranding 2, maybe you never know what you're going to get with Kojima, so I can't quite say that, but it is also an auteur director that's a well-known name, right? There is a known quantity, I think, about all the games in this category except for Expedition 33. That is the only thing that is this completely fresh on the scene thing in the whole category.
Okay. So it's the Baldur's Gate 3 of this year, like you said.
I definitely think so. Or again, like Astrobot winning last year, right? That was a kind of newly formed studio, and it was their first game, and it was on a small budget, and it was kind of proving that a style of game people thought was outdated wasn't as outdated as they thought. And I don't know. It's just this, again, that impact sort of thing, I think, and how it affects what people think of the industry as a whole. Nothing else has quite had that sort of anything like that going for it.
So of course, Claire's Obscure Expedition 33 was the big one with 12 nominations across 10 categories, this says. And then Death Stranding 2 and Ghost of Yote are the other big one nominated games there with 7 each. Yeah. So they have the second most there. So yeah, and this is going to be December 11th.
December 11th.
So there you go. Do you usually watch? You don't watch the live stream, do you?
I do, actually. I do. I usually have a drink and sit down and watch it and mute it when the ads come on because there's a lot of those. But I mean, I don't. So the thing for me is I don't necessarily care about awards that much. It's fun sometimes when a game I like wins, but it's whatever. I mean, I'm not upset if something else wins that I wasn't as big a fan of. Really, I watch it because I want to see what the new trailers for the new announcements are going to be. That's really why I'm there.
Yeah.
Usually there's a few cool things.
Any thoughts of what games we haven't seen that we might get a new trailer for?
Like something that's been announced already that we need. Yeah. I'm really hoping that we'll get something new on because they're doing a new Jet Set Radio game, which they announced at the Game Awards in 2023, and we have not seen since then. So that's kind of my big hope, is that we get some kind of update on
that. Okay. Nice there. All right. So Game Awards 2025. That was nominations there. Got one last piece of news, and then that's it. Go ahead, rate somebody. I don't know if you see somebody on your side there.
I can definitely take a look.
The chill spot he's on right now. I see he's on. He's been playing that Ghost of Yote. He's been playing that a lot. I don't think he's playing it right now. There, but Dante, he's still on. He's playing that Marvel Rivals, like we said before. Hunter, he's on right now. He's playing Lord of the Rings: War in the North. He's playing that. Nice. Have you ever played that one before?
Yes, but it was a long time ago. It's a bit more of a. If I remember right, it's one of the ones that's a little more of a strategy game.
Okay, gotcha.
But I could be mixing it up with another one because, like I said, it's been a while.
All right, let's do this last piece of news. All right, so last thing to talk about is the Steam. They're coming out with a console. This dropped
Not the first time either.
Not the first time there. And for my understanding, it's just called the Steam Machine. There, which actually
I've
is kind
heard
of
people
cool.
also calling it the Gabe Cube.
Very GameCube-esque, very GameCube-like, very box-shaped there, where you have that kind of going on. So they announced this early 2026 is what they're looking at, I think, for release date with this. No price has been announced yet for this.
It's just always a great sign.
Hey, this is like worked out for, I guess, Xbox with the ROG Ally. They didn't release till way later, till like it was a couple weeks till it was released.
Yeah.
But it sold out apparently. I guess people bought it.
That's true, but I also wonder how many they made, because you could make not very many and sell out, and it maybe seems more impressive than it actually is. I want to know how many units they actually produced.
They produced 5. Everybody's family member who made it bought one.
Right. It's like, successful, maybe.
Yeah, but so this is the trailer they had for it, announcing all the kind of new hardware they kind of got here with this, including you see the controller for this. But yeah, it's kind of, you'll see it in the trailer, box shape kind of thing, very GameCube-esque there. And it is a console. It's kind of a pitched as, if you can't afford like a high-end PC, if you can invest that much money in it, which usually higher-end PCs are more on like what, $4,000, close to $3,000-4,000, somewhere around there. This one will kind of be that good thing for you to have, and then you'll have access to your Steam library, which is basically access to many games right there. You're not limited to that because a lot of stuff comes to PC already.
It's a lot of indie games that maybe make their way to other consoles eventually, but like, especially if you're a big indie game person, I mean, the size of the library is, I mean, it's even hard to define how big it is.
So seems like kind of a big thing there for people. But I mean, who is going to be the market for this essentially? Like, if you have a console already, if you have a PlayStation, are you going to necessarily go out and get this? If you have a PC, are you going to go? Probably not, since you already have a high-end PC. So why would you go and get this thing that's going to be maybe a step below that? But yeah, so that's what you have with this. Sage, what are your thoughts here with the Steam Machine there?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting. I certainly want to know what the price is before I am too confident in how I think it's actually going to perform sales-wise. But if the price is reasonable, I think it'll do well. I think if this is able to just be a PC box that runs a lot of stuff like a console, I could easily see this kind of replacing the Xbox for me. Because I'm someone who I don't have like a high end. I mean, I have a 13-year-old laptop that can run a Word document at the best of times. So like, if this is a reasonable price, I would maybe even be interested in getting one instead of getting like the next gen Xbox. It really just depends on how they price it.
You see, like in the trailer. So, see, I mean, obviously this is just a trailer, but you see, like Silent Hill F is one of the games there on there. You see also Black Myth Wukong, which is a big game there. They're playing that on here. And then I saw one video where I believe it was IGN. One of the people went to the actual place where they to test out the equipment, test out the machine there. And they said like you had to kind of like a PC tweak the settings to get the right kind of thing for certain games there. You have to
that could put some people off, because part of the reason that consoles are as popular as they are is because you don't have to do that. You just put the game in and it runs, or at least most of the time that's supposed to be how it works. So if you have to really mess with like PC settings to kind of get something to run properly, I could see that being a bit of a barrier for some people, because that sometimes that could be a real pain in the ass to get a game to run, especially if it's an older game.
And then these are some of the things that list here. So you have like seamless updates there, desktop mode. So you see in the trailer here, the girl, she's playing it on her desktop there. So you can transition it to there. You don't have to just play it on your TV there. So you have that kind of going forward. Of course, the Steam OS, the whole big library that, of course, all the games and the account there with that. Fast suspend and resume there. Notifications, Steam input there you got there. SD card slot. So you and they also said you can add more memory to it if you so choose to do that there. Steam Store, cloud saves, friends list, Steam Chat, remote play. You get that as well there. Also, just like I said, how tiny it is, also very portable. I imagine. Well, you can take it with you on a trip, maybe as well. There,
Yeah,
probably set it up somewhere. You can
it's a
do
lot
that.
easier than taking your PS5 somewhere. I'll say that.
Very much more comfortable than that. How do you like the design of the controller? How do you like
It's
that?
interesting. I feel like I need to. It's the kind of thing. It's like when they try and do something new on a controller, like having these kind of mouse pad things on there. I feel like I need to hold it in my hand to really get a sense of if it's effective or not. In theory, I think it's a good idea to have like a sort of mouse pad button um, on a piece like a PC console thing. I think that makes sense. Um, whether it like feels comfortable to it's the kind of thing where it's like I need to physically hold one to really get a sense of it.
Mm, okay. Pretty good looking design, you think? I mean, it's got a
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. I mean, I think as far as the way it looks good. I mean, it mostly looks like a PlayStation controller, and then it just has these mouse pads on it. So it's not too far off of just the norm. It's just that one big thing. But as long as I mean, if I imagine holding it, it looks like I could just reach down with my thumbs and use that. But
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, I think from videos I was looking at people who did play, they say the control was pretty comfortable. They handle it pretty well, so it was pretty nice there. And if you're a person who likes that type of thing with your console, you can dress it up. You can have little. You can take the front part of it, or color. You have buy these different panels that you can put on there. So if you're that type of person, you could do that with it as well. There. Do you think it's competing with things like the PS5, Xbox, other consoles? There.
depends on the price. Xbox the kind of we had leaks about the next gen Xbox that they're going to be doing, which is a PC box very similar to this, where it'll run from Windows and then have an Xbox application on it. And that is according to all the leaks and even some official discussion about it is like described as extremely high end, like sort of prestige type thing. So like we're probably talking like 1,200 for that thing. So if this is less expensive than that, I do think it could easily kind of swap into that third spot and kind of take the Xbox's place in the industry. I don't know if it'll compete with the Switch. I don't think just because I mean, you have the Steam Deck. That's the Switch competitor already. And I think the Switch also, again, Nintendo and just like the family oriented kind of aspect of it all. I don't think it's going to compete with that. But and then I guess the PlayStation. I kind of again, it also depends on does the next gen PlayStation raise its price like way more, or does it kind of stay closer to what like the PS5 is now? If so, the PS5 will be relatively affordable in comparison to the Xbox, but I imagine this is somewhere in between the two.
Okay. And we talked about it a little bit. I mentioned it before of who's the market for this console here. So if you already have a PS5, would you necessarily go and get this? What do you think?
If it's reasonably priced, I think yes, because there's a lot on PC that isn't available necessarily on consoles. A lot of indie games, again, especially if you're a big indie game fan, there is always a massive amount of indie games that take a long time to come to consoles for one of the console owners to like see that and be like, oh, this is popular, let's get it on our storefront. And that some of that, I guess, the turnaround time these days is maybe not as long as it used to be. But even sometimes nowadays I'll still see like a game. It's like, oh, that's cool. I want to check that out. It's only $5. Oh, that's awesome. It's only on PC. So that happens a lot, and I think it would be very worth it. Even though I already have a PlayStation, I think it'd be worth it to get that again if it's priced reasonably. That's a huge X factor that we don't know yet.
And you mentioned the Steam Deck being the Switch comparator. So if you have a Steam Deck, and with the Steam Deck, you are able to dock it, so you're able to
Yeah,
play it on your TV. And
I
they're
don't see
saying,
any point to this if you have that.
okay, and because they're saying this is 6 times more powerful than the
Oh,
actual Steam Deck there. So I don't know if
okay.
that'll be a big thing. But like you said, maybe it's because of the price point of it. But you said it. So if you already have a Steam Deck, maybe this isn't really for you. Maybe.
Yeah, I feel like you'd want one of these or you'd want a Steam Deck.
Okay.
I can't imagine wanting both. I'd be like, oh, one or the other is good enough.
What do you think is a better option? You think?
Um, Well, like I said, it's going to depend on the price partially, but the Steam Deck obviously is portable, and that's going to be really nice. But I'm always, I always come from a place of like I've never been that into handhelds, so I like the thing that just sits there and does not need to move. So I would personally probably like this better. But if it's like this because the Steam Deck's what $400.
I believe around there, yes, 400.
If this is like 1,000, then I'd probably want the Steam Deck instead. But again, I mean, if they just give it a reasonable price, if it's like the price of a PS5, roughly the same, I'd probably pick this over the Steam Deck.
So it's the different models. So the cheapest one you can get is $400, about around
Okay,
$400.
that's the cheap one.
That's the 250 gigabytes LCD. If you want the OLED 512 gigabytes, that bumps up to about 550, so coming close to 600. If you
Okay.
want the 1 terabyte OLED, that comes about 700. You're getting like
Okay.
650, 649, so about 700 plus tax and all that stuff. It's about 700.
So that's the price I would not want to see this be any more than that. So if it is, then that is where I'm kind of like, maybe I just don't need it.
Yeah. So you're thinking around maybe the Steam Deck. So if the highest version of the Steam Deck you can get is around 700, this is probably has to be, then the Steam machine probably will be about maybe 1,000 to maybe 1,200, maybe, or 900 to 1,200.
Could be. Which then I feel like it is. Then it's competing directly with the next gen Xbox.
Yeah. And then right now, because what's the cheapest version of the PS5 you can get there? I think it's
550, I believe.
550. So are they gonna try to, if they come out with a PlayStation 6 there, and they also have like supposedly a handheld coming as well?
Yeah.
Are they going to try to do a handheld? It seems like that's the new thing to do, is like, okay, have a handheld and then be able to dock it as well.
Right.
And so are you going to try to have it compete with the Switch and Steam Deck and make it as powerful as something like that?
They might. I mean, I wonder, because I mean, Sony's had 3 different PlayStation portable systems before, right? They had the PSP, and then there was like a kind of next gen version of that, and then they had the Vita. And none of them ever took off all that much, to be honest. Like, they did okay, but they weren't like these massive successes. Obviously, they stopped doing it for a while. But everybody wants to get a piece of the Switch's pie now that has so kind of changed the game, right? So if it's like that, I mean, maybe it does okay. I don't know. I look at everybody trying to do these handhelds, and I think this is Nintendo's thing. I don't really need to see that from everybody. Like, to me, it's just too many different things to need to get, like, I just want my box that sits there, and I don't want to have to move it around. But,
and so what if you're a person who doesn't own any console whatsoever? You got all
might
these
be a good deal.
Okay, so out of all the choices on the market, if you have a Switch 2, if you got PlayStation 5, if you have maybe a future Xbox thing coming, you don't know yet what that kind of will look like, all that, how powerful that will be, the Steam Deck handheld, this, which is coming out earlier in the year. What would you say, what would you recommend with all those options, the plethora of options that people have? If like, hey, I want to get a console for somebody, or I want to get my first console, I haven't gotten one in a minute, and get back into gaming, what would you recommend there?
At this moment in time, I would recommend the PlayStation. But I think there's a possibility that this becomes in competition with that.
Okay. And I was trying to look at some specs on here. Do you know how it compares to, like, performance wise to the PlayStation?
That sort of technical specification, I have not heard.
Okay. Because they say it's 6 times more powerful than Steam Deck, and we saw some of the games running on there. And if you say you have to play around with the settings of certain games and try to get that figured out, okay, it says here that it's more powerful than something like the Steam Deck and the Switch, but it is less powerful than the PS5.
So it should not be as expensive as the PS5 then.
Well, I mean, maybe they'll say, hey, but we got the library, maybe
Right.
bigger than some, but like the PS5. So this is a video here. Let me play it here. This person explains. So let me see what they have here.
Looks like a big step up over the Steam Deck, and it absolutely is. Valve are claiming it's roughly 6 times more powerful. However, when it comes to actually comparing to consoles, that's where it gets a little trickier. Now, when I first saw this, my first estimate was that this could be close to something like a PS5 Pro. However, now that I've had a chance to take a deeper dive into the specs, it's not quite that powerful. So on raw graphics performance, this is actually slightly below the PS5. It does have a newer generation RDNA 3 GPU, which should help to bridge the gap, especially when it comes to things like upscaling and ray tracing, but it also is somewhat held back by having only 8 gigabytes of video memory. Fine for 1080p and 1440p, but for running native stuff at 4K, you're probably going to need to use some upscaling. However, I think all of this is really going to come down to the price. If this thing does come in at less than $800, I think it could be really strong. But Valve have not announced it. They've just said it's going to be competitive with a small form factor PC. And I think that if the price is right, it could be phenomenally cool. But if they price it like a PC, a little bit of a harder sell.
Yeah, there you go. Price. That's the key word of the day. How much will this thing cost there?
I remember when a new piece of tech got announced, they told you the price when they announced it.
You're that old, huh, man? You remember when they used to do that? Yeah. People playing these secretive things with the prices. It's like, oh, we'll see.
It just feels like a weird game. It's a weird game to play. I just say how much it is. I don't get, unless, I mean, the one thing I could say I would understand is if they don't even know and they're still trying to figure that out and are waiting to see what the economic state is closer to when it actually comes out. And that's why they haven't said. That's the one kind of more reasonable explanation I could give. But a lot of the times it feels like they're playing around.
Yeah. And if you already have a high-end PC, you don't think there's really much of a reason to go out and get this Steam if you already got
I don't think so, because what could it do that can't?
I guess be more like you could take it with you, but maybe if you already have a high-end PC, is there a good overlap of people who have that and the Steam Deck handheld thing? So if I want to take it with me, I just take my Steam Deck with me.
I think that's probably the case.
So you got that. So even if you have that element. That was kind of the big news there. The Steam machine there. Interesting piece of machinery. Don't know if I'll get it because I have a PC. So I don't know if it's really something I would get. I also have a PS5 and a Switch. I don't have a Switch 2 because I don't see very much of a point to upgrade it to it as of now.
Yeah.
But you got that there. But I don't know. Maybe
Donkey Kong. You said you were rooting for Donkey Kong.
Oh yeah, Donkey Kong. I haven't even got Donkey Kong Bonanza yet on Switch there. I think it's only available on Switch 2 or
Donkey only on the Switch 2.
Oh yeah, so those bastards, they get limited to the Switch 2 there. But yeah, so so I don't know if it's for me there, but you don't have you don't really have a strong NPC there, but maybe it would give you a chance to play some PC games.
I think, again, depending on the price, I think it could totally be a good option if you don't have a PC already.
Okay there. So we got the Steam machine. We'll come back when the price gets announced. There. I'll say
opinions could change at that point.
I'll do prices right now. I'll lock in the price. I'll say $950. That's what I'm going with.
I think that's probably close. I'm gonna say if it's not 600, I'm not paying for it.
Okay. What's your best guess for the price there? Price is right. Sage. What's your best?
I think you're pretty close, honestly. I'd say like between 900 and 1,000. 950 is pretty accurate to what my expectation would be. I'm just not gonna pay. I'm not gonna get one if it's that much.
So yeah, there you go. So that was our talk there. Out of here. We're gonna be out of here there. Thank you so much, Sage. Thanks for joining me, man. Much appreciated. I'm gonna go ahead. Anybody on your side on?
I didn't really see anybody other than just the people you already mentioned.
Let's see what Chill Spot is. Chill Spot asleep? I mean, sometimes he falls asleep. On his streams there, he gets tired.
There's got to be a bunch of people who will pay for just that, honestly, right? Like,
yeah, there are
probably
people
its own niche.
There are people who do that. I'll raid. Let's see. Hunter's. He's playing that Lord of the Rings. I'll go ahead and give him a raid since he's playing that Lord of the Rings there. But yeah, I'll be back Wednesday. I'll be doing a review for Spider-Man 02, Sam Raimi there. That iconic film there. Probably, I guess Spider-Man 2 is the Christopher Reeve Superman 78 of our time, I guess you would say.
I think so. I definitely think so.
Influential superhero film there.
Think about how many things have reference to the big train fight.
Oh yeah.
Like in other pop culture media. I don't see other one-on-one like superhero movie fights get referenced like that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like as far as memes and gifs and references to it. I mean, I'm trying to think of like another movie that would maybe come close to that. I mean,
Not until something like in the like giant armies in Infinity War and Endgame, but those are still very different types of things, right? I'm really, thinking of like a one superhero fighting one supervillain in like a one-on-one single character action set piece.
yeah. I mean, Blade gets kind of memed a lot, but
That's
yeah.
true. I feel like it's more the dialogue, like some motherfuckers are always trying to ace skate uphill. I feel like I hear that more than I see like the action scene itself.
Yeah. But yeah. And then so that's what we got. Wednesday, Friday, I'm gonna be with Dust there. Doing Now You See Me, Now You Don't, Wicked for Good, Keeper there.
That's what I feel about the movie is now I'm not seeing it.
It was kind of fun, I guess. I mean, it was my first one of these, so I'm not used to these movies. It seems like looking up some of the reviews for the other ones. So it seems like people don't like the second one. People hate the second one, it seems like. But they kind of think the first one's decent. Seems like people think.
I hated both of them. So.
Oh, you saw both of them?
No, I didn't even watch them.
Oh, you didn't even check them out. You don't like Jesse Eisenberg doing tricks? He's the illusionist, man. You don't like seeing that?
Yeah, that's not for me.
But yeah, so you got that. Then Keeper, Wicked for Good. I got no streams Saturday, Sunday, and hopefully Sage can join me again Monday. And he's gonna do a review there. Ghost of Tsushima. Hopefully do a review for that. And be ready for that there.
Yeah, a couple games we could throw out there.
One more time, Sage, where we could find what you got going on, what you got coming up next, all that good stuff.
Yeah, man. You can find me over at Rated M for Immaturity on Twitch. We'll be streaming tomorrow at about 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. We'll be starting Metal Gear Solid 1, doing a little retro thing. We just finished the remakes, and now we're going into the old school stuff. I think it'll be a lot of fun. It's goofy and weird and just very memorable. And then we started to do our Saturdays again, which we won't be on these next 2 weeks, but after that we'll kind of be back to it as a regular thing, doing some more of the Warhammer Space Brain because they keep adding more stuff to the game. And hey, there you are in the chat too. And then you can also find me on Amazon. You can buy my book, this satirical science fiction dinosaur war story. Check it out and buy it.
Very cool. Then that's available in your Twitter, just RM for Immaturity. People can find that. Just the link is in the bio there. So I'll be check out there. So you're on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, all Rated M for Immaturity there. People can check you out there. Hunter here. Oh, he's playing. It sounds like he's switched to. He's playing Sea of Thieves now. Okay, he's playing that. Yeah, he's doing that.
My Twitch channel was in the top 1% of Sea of Thieves streaming channels in 2023.
Oh, okay. Nice. Yeah, that was a big game for a minute. Yeah, Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, I mean, it still gets a big expansion. I think once a year, or every other year, something like that. I have friends like No Name was like a huge fan of that game.
Okay. So yeah, send you all over to him. All right, everybody, stay tuned. Out of here. Take care.